And we're live.
What is up, everyone? Y'all already know who this is. This is Mr. D to the O to the N to the C to the H to the A to the O to the S, your friendly neighborhood JUGGALO, the Karma Millionaire. If you don't know, now you know. And if you still don't know, well, you guys in the chat know. Your girl might be a hoe, your wife might be a hoe, your cousin might be a hoe. We are live, but not only are we live on my channel, we are live on Carnival Spirits YouTube. We are live on Carnival Spirits Facebook page. Thanks to my co-host / man ones on the ones and twos, Beastmaster, y'all.
I have no ones and twos, but I am definitely all up in this bitch tonight.
So yeah, we know we're starting a little late, but you guys know I like to sometimes be fashionably late because I like to build the hype, because the hype for this episode has been epic, like crazy. I've been getting hit up nonstop, people going, damn, Don, how were you able to pull that off?
Were they really saying, damn, chaos? Like that guy in the video that makes the damn Donnie video? Damn, right. Donnie?
Or that one dude that likes to go, Jesus Christ.
What about that guy? Do you know these videos? The guy who walks up to people like strangers that are smoking cigarettes, and he just slaps the cigarette out of their mouth, and he's like, so he starts off looking in the camera, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Terry. Cigarettes are bad for you." And he smacks him out of the face, but he's like huge. He's like fucking ripped. Like his muscles are like fucking twice. You know what I mean? He's this fucking. He looks like Mike Tyson. You wouldn't want to fuck with him. Have you seen those videos, Chaos?
Yes, that dude's freaking. I love that dude. That dude is just so funny.
Because the look on everybody's face is they want to fucking kill him, but they're like, but he looks like a truck. You don't want to start with him, but he enrages them so bad. Yeah, see, even Mary Jane is like, fuck that guy.
Hey, yeah, fuck that guy, but that guy is funny.
Yeah, he's funny on video, but if he ever came up to anyone I know and did that, I don't know, juggalos don't give a fuck. There might be a fight.
Right. But I can tell a story when I made a muscular man look weak in front of his girlfriend.
Anyways, I don't want to derail you too much. That's what came into my mind.
So yes, of course, this is episode 115, y'all. 115, and we are so damn freaking close to 1K subs. 1K subs for the Dawn, you motherfuckers.
1K? Are you pushing 1,000?
Yes. So if you guys want to start seeing giveaways, if you want to start seeing super chats, subscribe, motherfuckers.
So, all right, that's really good to say right now, because right now we're also live on Carnival Spirits, man. Carnival Spirits has 5,500 subscribers. Like, we're pushing 6K on Carnival Spirits, but everybody who's watching this right now on Carnival Spirits needs to go subscribe to Don Chaos channel and help him push to 1,000. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Do it. Your sermon commands it. Your sermon of the Cult of Chaos demands it. I command it.
Whoa.
I'm kidding. I love y'all.
Easy with your demands there, Don Sermon.
Lakeland, who's in the chat, shouts to Lakeland, who blew everyone's mind with that new logo. It even blew TJ's mind. He's like, holy shit.
Yeah, your new logo rocks. And I apologize. I kind of fucked up. I mean, it's not a fuck up, but I made that animated, video reveal for your logo, and and I put over it my song that I made. It was a Jump Steady cover, right?
Which is one of my favorite Jump Steady songs, and it's basically my soundtrack song.
So, but I kind of fucked up that video a little bit, man. Like, if anybody who watched that video on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, it sounds echoey. Like the music in my voice, it sounds like echoey, and there's a reason for that. It's the way that I captured the recording. I actually had a hot mic, like I was recording the screen of the YouTube video that song lives on, and it was set so that my voice was being picked up as well. I wasn't saying anything, but I was in a room, and you can hear the room, and it's echoey. I fucked up your little review video. I mean, whatever. It's not a big deal, but I just wanted to come.
I think the echo made it sound good because it sounds like with the image like that, I'm casting and reading from the book, and there's like echoes coming from as I'm reading from
all right. Hey, happy accident, way to look on the bright side of life. You really are the karma millionaire.
And that's why I said, I'm like, actually, the echo makes the image more realistic because it sounds like I'm speaking in a dark room with the image, and it's like echoing a spell.
Cool.
It's almost like some Harry Potter type shit. Like sometimes when they're casting a spell in a very like sound echoey room, and you can like hear the spell echoing as they like pronounce it.
Mm-hmm. Like in the grand halls of Hogwarts.
Yeah, or when you're like seeing in Lord of the Rings, or even in Star Wars when they're speaking the Sith language. That's the vibe I got out of it.
Right on. Yo, can we look at that? Can we look at that logo reveal real quick?
Yes, you can show them again. And so you guys don't know, there's actually to call it the light side or the chaos side, because the real version is me looking normal, but then there's the after effect with me blue after I'm performing the stuff that I like to perform.
Yeah, Miss Hollywood.
Speculation.
It's the reverb. But anyway, what is this on our fucking page, man? Scotty Balls must have posted this because I did not see this before. What is this Ouija Mac Friday the 17th? What is this?
This is actually an exclusive shirt that he's going to put out. And if you look closely at the Jason mask, it's like his face tattoos, but on the Jason mask. So it's like the poster to Friday the 13th. What part is that? I forget.
17th. So is this a t-shirt? It's not an album?
Yeah, it's like going to be an exclusive t-shirt. Looks like that he's dropping because tomorrow is Friday the 13th.
I know.
And I like the detail of it because if you look, it has his tattoos on like the Jason mask.
Yeah, I see that. Cool.
And it has like credits like the movie, but it like says other stuff. I don't know exactly what it says.
Oh, I'll tell you. I can see it. It says starring Ouija Mac, Little Tear Deer, Relish Brands, Half Jew, Rotten Cake, Devereaux, Shaggy the Airhead, and then it has Ouija's website.
Nice. Who knows? Maybe it's even a track he's going to do. Who knows?
Oh, it also says Psychopathic Records, and it has a little Hatchet Man in the Ouija thingy on the bottom, a little upside down heart.
Right.
Anyway, someone in the chat, sorry, what's your name? Element Only, says that they're already gone now. So that was fast.
Well, apparently AXC's doing something tomorrow for Friday the 13th. I'm curious what it is. I'm like, ooh.
Well, yo, check this out. We're looking at our Instagram. Shout out to DJ Clay, who, after we showed him love right here on Music Monday, right here, the Bag Snatcher song, DJ Clay commented, and then he sent messages promoting his recent, guest spot on the Pals Cast. So, I mean, DJ Clay is like, yo, promote my shit. So I did. I posted this for him. I mean, Beastmaster abides, But yo, look at this. Hella Fresh Holidays.
Yeah.
Yo, last month was like the best. After the shittiest year of all years.
Right.
Last month. October was amazing, and it's all because of ICP. I cannot wait for Hella Fresh holidays.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, I don't mean to show everything off. Let's go down here before Music Monday. I shared your video, and let's listen to my echoey fucking song.
Aces one is starting to curl around the universe like the chaos theory. As ghosts rise from the barren grounds of cemetery and holy lands all the world where people have peace because evil is gone from out the street. Chaos theory behind enemy lines. It's about time for you and your empire to die. Chaos theory behind enemy lines. It's about time for you and your empire to die. Chaos theory behind enemy lines. It's about time for you and your empire to die. Chaos theory behind enemy lines. It's about time for you and your empire to die.
Love it, man.
I'm not natural, I'm a prophet of the seventh world, heaven scared.
All right. So, Lakeland Lunacy. Fucking the man, the myth, the legend made you a new logo. That's what's up.
And he's actually the magic behind a lot of my dope logos. You guys seen like the first one, the King Chaos one? You guys seen the one that he did for the theme for DCG Con with your boy, the Dawn, as an Into the Echo side card?
And obviously, he's got Carnival Spirits. Fucking a lot of Carnival Spirits fucking illustrations. Really dope shit.
And this guy, y'all, is a very old school juggalo. He is literally from inner city posse days. He is that OG because he's an OG from Detroit. You can't get any more OG than that. And he even eventually says he wants to come on and share his days of talking about the early days of ICP and Isham because he was around for that shit.
But sorry, I'm almost done eating pizza. I promise. Speaking of the old days of ICP and Isham, if y'all didn't get the memo yet, I got a song with Mastermind from Nodis. You guys got to check it out. It's called Ghost Rep on my homie's album, Maddie Cypher's album. It's called Appetite for Dysfunction. Came out on Halloween. It's fucking fire. If you guys want to hear it, hit me up. I'll send you a link. Whatever's clever. Well,
And
hey,
with
what
that-
the hell? I got a snippet right here for Music Monday. You guys want to hear a snippet?
Do it.
Yo, let's call this what it is, a shameless plug. But I'm proud as fuck of this because this is the first verse I spit in 8 years, Chaos.
Yep.
You remember when we started Carnival Spirits almost 9 years ago?
God, it's really been that long already?
Yeah. This December is going to be our 9th anniversary. And
we're still here, y'all. Still fucking here.
That's right. Oh, are you kidding me? Next year, I'm going to be celebrating the fuck all year long leading up to our 10th anniversary. And we're going to do something fucking big 1 year from now. Real big to celebrate 10 years of Carnival Spirits.
Damn right.
But 8 years ago, right, when we were just a 1 year old YouTube group channel, I put out an album and it was great. I was hustling back then. I was recording music. I was live streaming. I mean, I was only doing like maybe 1 or 2 videos a week. It wasn't like now where we're live streaming. We would just make videos. We couldn't live stream back then. Yeah, YouTube has changed a lot in the past 10 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was just telling Tom that we used to do these like through like Google Plus back in the day.
Right? Oh man, all those other things we used to use. Anyways, yo, check out this snippet of my song with Maddie Cypher and Masterminds of Nodis.
Yeah.
I'm a creature of anecdotes and violent episodes. Riddle of the space lost off mosquito coats. Fighting night after night like Phoenix Jones. Beastmaster's doppelganger wants all the smoke.
All right, I don't want to play anymore because you know what? This song is fucking fire, and you need to hear the whole thing. You need to hear all 3 verses. You need to hear Mastermind's verse in the beginning. My verse is at the end. Maddie Saifa, who asked me to be on that track. I recorded it earlier this year, and I waited all fucking year for Halloween for it to come out. And that's why I want you guys to listen to it, because I've been fucking sitting on that verse all year waiting for him to release his goddamn album on Halloween, like most juggalos like to do, you know?
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
With that said, we are going to take our first music break, and then we are going to get into what you guys came here for. The one and only special guest tonight, Tom Wood himself.
Yeah. So what's the music break? You send me something?
I did.
All right.
So DJ Beastmaster, spin that shit.
Yo, can we call me DJ TJ?
Get up, attack.
Oh, that's right. We still here? We might have to. I forgot. Facebook doesn't like use. You might have to come back. What's going on? There we are. That thing I don't like about Facebook Live is Facebook does not like you playing music, but YouTube's okay with it.
It's ghost rise from the burial clouds of cemeteries and holy lands all across the world with people at peace because evil is gone from out the street.
Were you talking, Chaos?
Check, mic check, 1, 2.
Chaos. Say, check out the hook while my DJ TJ revolves it.
While my DJ TJ revolves.
I love that.
What is this? Who are these bloody wizards? Why are they attacking me? They're ninja warriors. Maybe they've been sent by the Russians. I'm afraid they want to kill you.
All right, hold on. Ninja warriors, maybe sent by the Russians.
I'm trying to think, what movie is that from?
I don't know, but watch the fuck out from the ninja warriors from Russia. Yes, you should. That's dope.
That skit is so stereotyped. Saying ninja and then saying Russian and then saying they fight like samurai.
Hey, I don't know. Deplorables. What you gonna do?
Anywho, I'm about to send the link out, and we are about to be joined by our special guest of the night. Chia. So while we wait for our guests, we will mingle with you guys in the chat.
Oh yeah, is it time to mingle?
Yes. So we can mingle until you see the guest, of course, in backstage, and then when you see him,
As soon as I see Tom Wood in the fucking chat, you better believe I'm bringing this motherfucker on. Make sure you guys can see my Lakeland Lunacy Carnival Spirits fucking logo on my iPad. All right. We're chopping it up with the chat. So I'm looking at the chat right now. I see Roxy Riddlebox. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Roxy Riddlebox had the dopest Halloween costume or getup. Her Instagram is fucking lit.
I will just say that me and Roxy's like ritual outfits, just saying, purely speculation at this moment.
Bring out the gimp. Yo, what up? Mary Jane was on here with us. What was that? A week or two ago, and had the dopest fucking conversation talking about the new Joker's card, the first female Joker's card, Yum Yum Flower, and we got some plans that I don't want to reveal just yet, but some dope shit dropping here on Carnival Spirits that Mary Jane's involved with. I have to tease it. I have to fucking tease it. Yo, Shanzi says Russia is in fact known for ninjas.
Since when?
I don't know, but you know what? I got a coworker at my job who's Russian, and you know, like Russian accent, everything. You know, her son started working with us, and he's cool. He's like 15, 16-year-old. But he's Russian. I heard him speaking Russian to some other customer the other day. And this kid's cool, man. He's actually going to give me his Disney Plus login so I can watch The Mandalorian.
Dude. I mean, I haven't watched season 2 yet, but dude,
season 2 apparently is available right now, and I'm just saying I haven't even seen season 1 yet. So I know, I know, and I know Miss Hollywood is like rolling in her I don't know, tanning bed. I'm just kidding. People don't use those anymore, do they?
Not that I'm aware of.
It's all about that spray tan. Just kidding, just kidding. That's Donald Trump's thing.
Okay.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so my Russian coworker's son, who is also Russian, so I guess I can eliminate her. He is also a Russian teenager. Okay, so this Russian teenager is letting me borrow his Disney Plus login so I can make an account and I can watch that shit, The Mandalorian, finally. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, by the way. I'm gonna start watching The Mandalorian. Yeah, I said meow. What you going to do about it, Shanzi? Anyway, I'm going to ask. I'm asking my Russian teenager coworker about ninjas. I'm going to find out what the real deal is about Russia and ninjas.
You're talking about the KGP then, okay?
What? JBK?
KGP. Or as I call them, the Russian equivalent of the Marines, basically. Very well disciplined. Oh, we have the one and only D Lyrical in the chat. What is up, Dale?
Hell yeah. What's up, Dale? What's up, D Lyrical?
I'm not gonna lie, when I keep watching that ICP stream where D Lyrical was on there, I keep geeking out every time and I just crack a big smile on my face. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, right? Dale being interviewed on the late night talk show on the fucking October House Party Peep Show. Yo, we got Tom Wood in the fucking green room right now, Chaos. What do you say we bring him on?
Let's bring him on.
All right, here we go.
And then I'll take the rings from here.
What up, man?
What's up, guys? Beastmaster, I didn't know you was going to be joining us tonight.
Yeah.
That was my surprise for you, Tom.
Thank you. Always the excellent host. Thank you.
Like
you guys.
here is a treat. Like I could have popped out of the cake. Instead, I'm just sitting here. You're welcome, though.
Well, Beastmaster marked out too. I was like, I'm interviewing Tom Wood. He's like, dude, you have to let me on there. I'm like, of course.
Look, the reason I said that is because it was so serendipitous. Because I just posted that snippet from the Hallow Wicked performance where they shouted out, where ICP shouted out Tom Wood. I'm the one who did it. I put that I clipped and I put it on Instagram, Facebook. It's on YouTube on our channel. And then like the next day, Chaos is like, I'm interviewing Tom Wood. I'm like, no shit.
Well, I seen that video. I was at a show that night, and I didn't see it live, but I came in at the very end, right for the unveiling. So I didn't know they had even done that shout out earlier, until I seen your video, Beastmaster. And then I love the whole look of putting the Mr. Rotten Treats in the background and how you had it moving slowly across the screen.
Yeah, that's badass. You know, iMovie has a little tracking thing. You know, I couldn't get the whole thing in the frame. It was stuck with the YouTube frame, so I had to move it so you could see its head and the chin. You know.
Well, it was very effective. I don't
no doubt. And you really just missed it because that song was like past the middle of their set. But if you joined near the end, I swear you just missed it. Like,
damn.
Yep.
It looks like it was a huge success, though, and congratulations to Psychopathic for putting on such a great show during the middle of this COVID shit.
Oh, I was just telling you, October was the best part of this year by far. This year sucks,
100%.
and I just had such a great month. And now they're doing it again in December, so that's what's up.
That's awesome. Oh, nice screensaver you got there. Spirit of the Dark Carnival is your screensaver.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And by the way, this right here I got from you at the gathering. All right. And this, I mean, I saw you at the gathering, and this is the last time I saw you in person. But right here behind me is the Spirit of the Dark Carnival, Tom Wood fucking masterpiece that just is, you know, this YouTube channel's fucking pride and joy. This whole Dark Carnival is why we're here. That's why we're here, you know?
That's right. Well, you could thank Rob Bruce for that piece, because when I first started it, of course, everything that we did for Echo Side was just a sketch. Rob would send me little, thumbnail sketches of it.
Yep.
And, so when I wanted to do a look down, there you go. When I wanted to do the image for the Dark Carnival, I had a couple different rides and stuff like that, and I sent it back to Rob, and Rob was like, "This is awesome," and I was just wanting you to do like a profile of the carnival from a distance. But now that you're looking down into it, this is the first look anyone's ever had at the Dark Carnival, and you have to understand it goes on forever. It's an entire world of Dark Carnival. So we just kept throwing stuff in there, and I hid all the jokers in there. If you have the time to go through and try to find it. But
I have.
have you?
Yes. Well, I mean, that's huge. So I've looked very carefully. There's a lot going on there. I've seen them.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So what have you guys been up to other than staying at home and getting out when you can?
Not us. We're both essential workers still, so we're out there still busting our butts.
Yep.
That's great. I mean, I guess it's great.
No, it is. I feel blessed to have a job. You know, I have friends that are in way worse places than me, and you know, my job takes care of me, so I'm pretty good right now. You know,
That's great. That's good. Well, yeah, you guys have to come out to Arkansas one of these days in the wide open. There's not a lot of social distancing. I mean, it's always social distance out here, just because there's 2,500 people in the entire town. So
that was already the status quo.
Yeah.
So life hasn't changed for you that much, especially working in the studio.
Right. Yeah, life really hasn't changed much. The cows from day to day don't seem to really notice much of a difference, and I have to admit that I don't wear my mask when I'm out with the cows, so they're not complaining.
Right. So the cows aren't like, yo, 6 feet, motherfucker.
That's right.
Yeah, Chaos. Did you have like specific questions for Tom? I don't know what you had in store. I just wanted to fucking join and be a part of the conversation, and of course I had to fucking show off all my Tom Wood swag. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we get into the first question, Tom, you just got props from the legendary D Lyrical in the chat.
Oh, wow. Thank you. That's awesome. Very cool.
That's our boy.
Hell yeah. Well,
So
yeah.
leading into our first question, I want to know, how did you get in contact with ICP? Like, you've been in contact with Psychopathic since like what, 2009-ish?
Yeah, about 2009. As well, I started doing work doing ICP work, but it wasn't for directly with Psychopathic. It was for Live Nation, which I did work for a few years, and put out a lot of artwork for those guys before I was actually put in touch with Psychopathic.
But hell yeah.
That was stuff from like hot topics and like those blacklight posters. Were those some of the first things, or is that?
Well, the first thing that I had done was for Hot Topics, and I had done an entire line of the Jokers. Up until that point, they had several artists doing ICP stuff because it was a hot property. Always one of their biggest sellers was Psychopathic merch, and but they said you got to put all 6 Jokers on there or it's not going to sell. And said, no, I don't think so. I think I'm going to just do 1 Joker per shirt. And they said, well, it'll never sell. I'm like, it'll sell 6 shirts instead of 1 if you just do what I say. And so they took a chance on it, and Hot Topics bought it. And apparently they got into a bidding match with Spencer's over that, and Hot Topics won. And then Spencer's came back the following week and said, we want our own Tom Wood, ICP line. And that's when I did the Dark Carnival collection, and it was also a big success.
Okay. So you're saying that you were being shopped. They had a bidding war over you?
Yes, they had a bidding war over those first 6 pieces. Of course, they didn't know who I was at the time.
But it was your work. Yes, your work was being fought over, like tug of war.
Right. Over the first one. So Spencer's came this close to getting, the Joker card collection. And I guess Hot Topics outbid them, and then
it's a common thing for people to just like interchange, like Spencer's and Hot Topic, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, something like that. Like, but I guess there is like they are competitors. They are. I never thought about that.
Yep, absolutely. So, but the first one, when we first did that line, Live Nation wouldn't even let artists put their names on artwork at the time. And once I did that first 6, I said, if you're going to sell it, then you've got to put my name on it. And they said, well, we're not going to take it. And I'm like, okay, then don't. And about 3 hours later, they came back and said, we'll take it. So
that's it.
They changed their policy, so artists get to put their names on artwork now.
I bet at least like an hour and a half of those 3 hours was like, the dude fucking touching his forehead, going, what the fuck am I gonna do? And then finally going to the boss, and then the boss saying, just give him what he wants.
Yeah. Give him what he wants.
Dumbass.
But yeah, they made the mistake of telling me when I went back to Live Nation, or when they came back to me a week later, they made the mistake of telling me that how well that the line did and that they sold all these shirts. So my price pretty much doubled for the Dark Carnival collection. And you can see critically, you could see that I put a little more time into the Dark Carnival collection than I did the Joker card collection. Probably another, couple days on each piece. Because I needed to just, keep moving the bar up, if you will. So yeah, those are And those are still arguably some of my best pieces for Insane Clown Posse.
And I've loved that you've done that. I think you and ICP go hand in hand. They have wrote the music and you have drawn images that like fit what they're talking about. And I think that mashes together perfectly. Like you literally, with the help of ICP with their music, you've brought the Dark Carnival mythology to life through imagery, basically.
Oh, thanks, Drew. Well, the key I thought was doing a good Joker. And I've seen a lot of people try to do Joker artwork and some other artists that's tried to do it. And the key was just to stick to the artwork that the clowns did. You know, if Riddlebox is green and his nose is pink, just do the fucking green skin and pink. Don't get too creative with it, because you guys have been looking at these logos and studying them for decades. So, you know, don't try to get too creative. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's what it was, you know, with the Jokers, that from the original logos that Shaggy did, was that's your Bible. You got to stick to that artwork, you know, when you're developing these more realistic versions.
It's like, you know, they're not reboots, because, you know, that like
Exactly.
it's not like putting nipples on the bat suit here, you know.
No. And I tell you, like the superhero genre really was an inspiration for me when I did that, because, you know, we always wanted to see when X-Men came out. There you go. When X-Men came out and they completely redesigned what the X-Men looked like, we were all wanting to see Wolverine with the mask and the, you know, we wanted him in those outfits, and X-Men failed miserably at doing that. And then there was more years of just these failed attempts at trying to, you know, bring these characters to life. And, you know, and then Marvel finally did it when they started doing the Avengers and Iron Man. They made them exactly like we grew up wanting them to be, you know, in our minds. And that's what I did with the Jokers.
And you know what Drew said is 100% true. Your work complements the music, like, because the music is something that kind of lives in us. You know, it belongs to us now. It doesn't belong to Violent J anymore. It's ours. Like, and I would compare you to like the producers of the music that ICP write and rap over beats, because that music is not something that they made. They collaborated with a producer to make music, although it comes from them, right? And their ideas come from them, but you, a collaborator, have put a visual. So there's music and there's visuals, and ICP works with the best of the best, the Mikey Clarks, the Tom Woods. That's what I'm saying. It's on that level, you know?
No, I get that. Thanks, Beastmaster. I appreciate that. But actually, I didn't even get the chance to really start collaborating directly with Psychopathic until probably the first Missing Link is when Billy reached out to me, Bill Dale, and said, you know, we've got a new Joker coming out, and, you know, we've been a fan of your artwork for years. Even though when I say that, I did try to call Psychopathic probably around 2010 or 11 when I started to get a following, just to make contact with those guys, because I was hoping to work with them, and no one would even return my call. So it's funny.
No, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that time period was a bit rough, because
absolutely.
Like, I'm just saying that was on the cusp of Twisted leaving and the FBI gang list. Essentially, like, it was a lot going on during that Mighty Duck Pop era,
right?
or before that, you know.
Absolutely. My point is, you know, if you're an artist and you're trying to get out there and sort of build a following and make contacts, don't give up. I mean, even I was, you know, ran into a brick wall on my first try. So it's, you know,
it's all about timing, you know,
and persistence. Absolutely.
What is it they say? You gotta be in the right place for opportunity to find you, or whatever. Like you can't be caught sleeping. Like, opportunity will find you, but you got to be working hard when that happens. Otherwise, you know.
Exactly.
Yep.
No, 100% right.
Chaos. What's the next Q?
Well, the next question would be, of course, everyone who doesn't know, Tomlin did a lot of the artwork for Into the Echo side. So tell us how that came about, because a lot of your artwork, like, is very dope. Like, not just like ICP Encyclopathic, like I love the thing you did for Ouija, the image you did for Tech, just everything you've done, even just for other artists or groups, is dope.
LSP.
Oh yeah, LSP was a great piece, and of course, that was some of the ones when Rob comes in and says, "I want you to take your time on this one, and you need to make this one special." And I thought I was making all of them special, but when he comes in and like pinpoints one and says, "This needs to be good," you know, I like those challenges. Even though, and if he's willing to wait an extra couple more days, then you know, on this card, you know, I was willing to do it. So, and
he would say that because that was his baby. Like he created a game, you know. So just like ICP writes music, like he made a game, and that was his, you know. So yeah, make this one extra special for me.
Yep, absolutely. But you know, the Echo side was fun because that was the first time I actually met Rob. Was at the beginning of that, because before that I was dealing directly with Billy on Missing Link. My style of Missing Link imagery, you know, because they launched the albums and they wanted like covers and stuff like that, or billboards for in-store displays and stuff like that. It wasn't anything to do with, you know, the album itself. It wasn't anywhere on the album, but it was more of just supporting marketing materials that they hired me to do with that.
Right.
And then, so I knew Billy was really the only one that I knew at Psychopathic at that point. And then probably a year and a half later, Rob reached out to me and he told me about him and Lewis's creation of Into the Echo Side. And he said, "We're interested in having you do some art for us." And I was like, "Fantastic." I said, "Who else is going to be working on this?" Because he told me it was going to be 300 and something cards. I'm like, "Who else you got working?" And they're like, "No, just you." And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, "You guys want to release this at some point soon?" I mean, 300 cards is going to take me an eternity to do.
So are you telling me that you had to actually like move into a sweatshop to get this done? How'd you pull that up?
No, you know, yeah, dude, that fucking game aged me about 20 years. I'm actually 28 years old right now. I just look like I'm in my 40s. But yeah, that game was a nightmare. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a nightmare. I had a tremendous amount of fun doing it, and probably when my career is all wound up, that'll be one of the highlights of, you know, that I look back on as one of my biggest achievements was doing that entire game.
Each little card is the equivalent of a full-scale masterpiece that's worthy of being blown up and looked at in with a microscope. So yeah, I mean, fuck, there's so much. Like,
yeah, the detail in there is ridiculous. And I even told Rob when we started, because he said, "Oh, they're only, you know, 2 inches by 3 inches, and you know, you can flash those." And I'm like,
boring. It's just a little boring.
Yeah. Yeah, not the kind of detail that I want to put in there. So when I did those cards, every one of those pieces is probably, the originals is probably 10 times larger than what it needed to be for that card. So just like Spirit of the Dark Carnival behind you, if I would have done it at that resolution, I could have fit hardly any of the detail that's in that card. It's just way too much going on. And still to this day, people love the game and they play it, but not many people has really studied the art. So we even talked about doing a coffee table book at some point with all the backstories, because every one of those damn cards has a backstory. Where we met on it, we talked about it, you know, we went back and forth, several different versions, and I had a lot of fun. I mean, that's really how I got to know Lewis and Rob long before I went to the Gathering 17 and met them for the first time. We had a really good working relationship.
He goes by Mr. Happy. Am I wrong?
No, that's correct. That's it.
Yeah. I know him, and because we met on tour. He's a really good dude. I kicked it with him at DCG Con. So Mr. Happy is the shit, and I know that he loves these games, and he's a good guy. Good guy. I don't know, for some reason he's one of the few people, like, we become friends and, you know, follow each other on Facebook. Every once in a while he pops out of the woodwork and says hello.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to be friends with Lewis. He's one of
the
the sweetest guys I've ever met. And I remember when one of the first cards that I did when I started Into the Echo Side was Rob wanted me to do Mr. Happy card, and when I finished it, I sent it to him, and Lewis got on the phone and was just so appreciative. It sounded like you could hear the emotion in his voice. He was just completely blown away by it, and that was, after that we were good buddies.
How could you not be? You've done a few custom cards, like I know you did, and I don't know the context of why you did it, but I know it was an exclusive card for Cherry Bomb's significant other with the tiger. You know that tiger card?
Yeah, I know it.
I have one. She gave me a card.
If I don't have many regrets, and doing that card for someone's boyfriend, I knew better. I mean, and Cheryl has done a lot. She's sending me a lot of photo reference, and was a huge asset in finding reference for a lot of the Dark Carnival stuff when I was doing Into That side. So I wish that I would have talked her out of that, because doing something for your wife or your brother or something, those relationships aren't, usually are a lot more solid. Doing it for your boyfriend of a few years, I had a feeling that, that might not have a good end, and it didn't. So
I didn't even really know that, and that's funny because that's like that's like putting together a huge to-do for like a relationship that's like about to end, right?
Yeah, it wasn't long after. And poor Cheryl, she was so excited about this card once I sent it to her, and she even videotaped the surprise. She had hid it in a present, and then when he opened it up, it fell on the floor, and then he picked it up and was like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, Jesus, I spent like 5 days on this son of a bitch, and then I guess later when he realized this was him and his cat, he got excited. But on the video, it was like such a letdown that he's seen this very first card and unofficial card, and was just completely like, who gives a shit?
I have so many follow-up questions that just probably isn't even valid for a live stream, because it's like, it's none of my business. But I just want to know, like, was he even a juggalo? Did he even know the significance of the gift?
Yeah,
I don't know
that he was Link. Who knows? I have no idea. But yeah.
All I know is that tiger had a real cat's head, did it not?
Yeah, that was his pet. That cat was his pet. And so when
that was his cat as a fucking
tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, the thought that counts. That was a really dope card.
But you're right, and that's a good point, Beastmaster. I don't know that he was even a juggalo. For it to, from the look on his face when he's seen it, and the whole like he just doesn't understand what he's looking at, makes me think, reflecting back now, that I don't even think he knew what he was looking at.
To understand that, I think he just was missing a few crayons out of the box, because if I saw that and I had a cat, I'd be like, holy shit, that's me and my cat. Like, I did not know. Hell yeah. But all those cards, like Chaos, you already started off with the artists, and here we off on tangents again, but LSP, Ouija Mac, Big Hoodoo, like, you covered the roster, and
I love that Ouija artwork.
Right.
That's dope.
Now, the Ouija card, that is also one of my favorites, and that was almost probably second to the very last card.
Nice.
And the only reason that it wasn't is we had some issues with one of the artists on the cards, and we had to go back and redo it. But the whole game was completely done, and then Rob said, "We're signing this kid Ouija Mac to the label, and we need you to do a card." And that was like right there at the end when we did that. So we barely squeezed him in, and even Fred Fury would have been a great card, but that was just a few months later. Just shows you how much stuff actually comes out of the underground for Ouija just to squeeze in, and then Fred Fury to miss the tail end of the Oracle. So
deadlines matter, and obviously you're a one-man machine pumping out these masterpieces. So it would have been nice to have that part of the game, but it was kind of cool the way that you showed a little snippet, like a teaser, and then we saw a bigger version. Like I like the way that you unveiled it for us. You know,
Yeah,
it made it an event, and it's one of those things where it is an event for Juggalos. We're the only ones who care, and we care a lot. You know, so it's an event for us. Like,
no,
yeah.
That's true. I mean, I've done fantasy art for years. No one is lined up to see my next, you know, Greek mythology piece or anything like that, or you know, nobody's, you know, just on pins and needles and messaging me to see, you know, what's my next fantasy art piece.
Well,
but when it comes to, you know, the psychopathic stuff, you know, I posted that after I released Rotten Treats. It was, you know, and especially when Yum Yum logo dropped, it was probably, I don't know, 50 messages like, can't wait to see your version of this. So
we're not even waiting for the confirmation that you're doing it. It's all just assumed. It's all assumed now, man. Like you are on the hook.
Which I like a lot of your artwork, like not just the Juggalo stuff, but even your take on like vampires and werewolves. I was like, damn, that is some dope shit.
You know, you said something that really strikes a chord with me, and you know, your fantasy art is literally on the same level. Like it's not just your Juggalo shit. Like the dragons and the just everything you do is amazing. So you know, when Violent J shouted you out, like that's the reason, because he doesn't just give props to anyone. Like you know, you deserve those props, man.
Thank you.
Like. But I understand what you mean. No one's hitting you up, blowing up your DMs, asking you for your next fantasy art snippet. Like Juggalos are kind of like fiends, and they want their shit. And if they sniff something is coming out, like they want their grubby paws on it immediately. And yeah, so. As a rapper, like I've made some ICP tribute music that has garnered me more like attention, accolades, and love than any human being deserves. And that could trick your brain because I've made other music and then no one gives a fuck. Right. You know, it's when I made some Juggalo music, holy shit, I got a response. You know, it's just weird how that happens. Like
no, 100%. And you know, ever since I started doing a lot of the Juggalo artwork, and as the attention's coming, and I've gotten followers that are you know heavily Juggalo followers, there's been a little added pressure, you know, to keep up that level of intensity on the artwork. You don't want to wow them with Fred Fury and then come back and have something that's not as impressive. So, you know, and that was with Rotten Treats. I spent probably twice as long on Rotten Treats than I did on Fred Fury, because Fred Fury was so fresh. And then, of course, Rotten Treats has been around since what, 2002? When was he released?
94-ish.
94-ish. Okay.
I mean, that's one of my all-time favorite Halloween.
Yeah, he's been around forever, and I knew that you know, people have studied that logo, and of course, Eight Legs did this amazing version of him several years ago, and that's been kind of the standard for Rotten Treats. So when I did mine,
Wicked album cover, the 20-year anniversary Hallowicked CD. That's Eight Legs right there.
Yeah, that was a great. When I did Echo Side, the card for Mr. Rotten Treats, I used Jacob's artwork. I airbrushed on it a little bit, but it was so iconic. I just didn't want to change it. I thought that it deserved a place in the Fiends file. But I always wanted to do my own, but I knew that I couldn't do my version of Mr. Rotten Treats in the time frame that I had to do all these cards for Into the Echo Side. So I've been waiting to do that piece for quite some time.
Yeah, Eight Legs is a good artist himself.
Oh yeah, he's amazing. No, absolutely. I mean, there's so many great artists out there. Like Lakeland Lunacy that did your logos is fantastic. Eight Legs, Wicked Dreams Creations is
Yeah.
She's amazing. I mean, there's so many talented artists out there. All the guys at Dead Canvas, Picasso, Jarvis, and all of his crew is an amazing group of artists. If you guys get a chance, you really need to go to Dead Canvas and look, because like Jasmine's on there, and probably a good half dozen, maybe more artists that you would love to check out.
Yo, I got it up on the screen right here. I'm already on board, man. Like a lot of those dudes are my friends. I actually was parked right next to the Dead Canvas squad at the parking lot party at last year's gathering.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, those are great people. I'm get on their chats and chop it up with the other artists, and just a lot of great people. They love what they do and they're good at it, and it's it's been great just to talk with the other artists about the creative process. And
I mean, you're a part of the crew, right? You were announced as a member of Dead Canvas, is that right?
I was, yes, I did that back in the summer, I think it was, when Picasso asked me to come on board, and I thought that I could lend a hand with the group and be part of this amazing bunch of people, and hopefully some of the newer artists, if I could shed some information or some light on how I market stuff or how my career went, and help them out, I would be happy to do that. So, and that's what I've done.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. Like for real, like a lot of those dudes, they I follow the group, and I know several of them personally. The newest member, Boppo the Clown, like I've known him since 2001. We met at a gathering in Peoria, Illinois. Wow. And we're both from Massachusetts, but we met in Illinois,
Damn, small world.
Yeah. So, and he was one of those ninjas that would do dope artwork for his friends, and I recognized him. And just now this year, he was added to Dead Canvas, and now he's got shirts made, and it's like I'm seeing a friend's dream come true, like the fruitation right in front of my eyes. So Dead Canvas for me is like one of my favorite fucking things in the Juggalo community, because I'm all about artwork, and this is family here. These guys are fucking good people, and their enthusiasm and their support for each other is inspiring.
To Rachel Paul. Rachel Paul's got good artwork.
Oh yeah, good. But when it comes to Dead Camps, I mean, Picasso, he pioneered that whole thing, and he put together a marketing plan to help these artists sort of achieve their goals. And Crystal, his wife and partner in that, is one of the driving forces. I really can't say enough wonderful things about that woman. She is a force of nature, and I think that Dead Canvas certainly wouldn't be what it is without her either. So my hat's off to her.
No, she's got the people skills. Like, she's the one that let me know who they were, because I was parked right next to them and I didn't have a clue. I mean, I see ninjas everywhere. She's like, "Yo, we're Dead Canvas." I'm like, "Huh?" So she got my attention, and we've been fast friends ever since. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're all good people.
Shout out to Dead Canvas. I was actually waiting for the moment that we brought up Dead Canvas in this live stream, because I'm a huge fan of all of them, as well as you. And a special shout out to Jasmine as well, because she's like a influencer in the Juggalo community. She's such a positive person, and a joy to know. And I've got one of those Two Dope shirts. The knife.
Oh yeah,
I got one.
Oh yeah. I think she's sold quite a few of those, and which I was happy. I know when I think Shaggy released a clip with him actually putting it on, and I know that her heart was about to burst, because she is such a huge Shaggy fan, and she's so sweet. So when you see good things happen to people like this, you're just they just melt your heart. And so yeah, I'm happy for her. I'm sure we'll see lots of more fantastic works from her in the near future. She seems like she's always grinding. So
I like the specific, the unique ball cap. She paints the hats for the events. Like, she did it for Juggalo weekend. She did it for Hallowicked. She did her version of, well, it was the official version of Mr. Rotten Treats on a hat. And
Yeah.
she did they're one of a kind, hand painted. And I wanted one, but I fucking slipped. I didn't move fast enough. But yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Very
Also,
cool.
got props from Shanzi in the chat for telling you good job on the recent artwork you did for Hoodoo's latest album, The Red Book.
Oh, thanks, Sean. That's awesome. No, yeah, that was a great piece. Yeah, that was probably a year in the works. I think Hoodoo asked me last gathering. They said he was wanting me to work on this album, and time kind of got away from us. And before you know it, this is probably 3 months ago, maybe 4, that he started hitting me up again to do this album cover. And then he had a photo shoot that I think Trish Shaw and Rachel Paul had worked on with him, and so he had some decent photo reference for that piece. But he had a certain image that he wanted to portray on that piece, and I thought that the energy and the flow of that piece was perfect for Hoodoo, because he's got such a great style, and I'm a big fan of his music. That's one of the few acts at the gathering that no matter what time he's on, I'll leave my little tent and just shut the thing down, and I got to go see Hoodoo, because he puts on a hell of a show.
And it's cool that he's got a live band now with him, which is cool.
Yeah. Yep. I remember in 17, he had a band up there with him too on at GoJ 17, and that electric guitar he had going during his set was awesome. So I'm glad to see he's doing that on a regular basis.
The album cover, though, you've done album covers before. I believe you've done a Megadeth album cover.
Yeah. Yep. I have done Megadeth.
That to me, when I discovered that, I fucking lit up. I was like, holy shit! Because I'm a huge Megadeth fan. So when I found that out, I was like, oh my God, you made that fucking out. I have that album in my fucking collection. Like, what?
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. No, I've been very lucky throughout my career, which has been a pretty lengthy career. I'm not going to tell you how long it's been, but it's I've done a lot of stuff before I ever really started getting into the Juggalo scene.
Yeah.
And but having Live Nation, that's where I'd worked with them and done a lot of work with Kiss and Scorpion and Aerosmith and a lot of these bands. And
oh my God, I don't think I've ever seen your Aerosmith work.
Yeah, I don't know. I've done Journey.
Nice.
Ozzy Osbourne. I did and a lot of this stuff was for apparel. It wasn't actually on the albums, but it was for like their summer tours. Apparel that they would be taking on the shows that Live Nation would produce for them.
You done some like Aerosmith shirts? You mean?
Yeah, I think I've done some Aerosmith shirts. I can dig them up.
I would love to see it. I've never seen that. I'm a huge Aerosmith mark. I'm from Boston. I'm a Boston.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I used to live north of Boston, actually.
Well, I'm north of, I say Boston, but I'm in the North Shore. I'm like right outside of Salem. I'm in Beverly.
Okay, where's that? Swampscott is pretty close to there, correct?
It's right there, right over the border.
Right. Okay.
Like my neighbor. Yeah.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I used to live in Nashua. That's when all the sports stuff I used to do. I lived in Memphis when I was 20, and then I got recruited up to Salem Sportswear, which is in Salem, New Hampshire, not Salem, Massachusetts, which would have been awesome, but it was in Salem, New Hampshire. So I had moved up to Nashua and worked at that company, which did all the Larry Bird stuff. Of course, that's how they got big. There was the people that did the caricatures for the Celtics and the Lakers during that era. And then by the time I got there, it was more the Jordan era than it was.
Right. My dad took me to a Celtics game when I was like 10 years old, and I saw the Dream Team. I saw Bird and, Danny Ainge and all those.
Yeah. Robert Parrish and
Parrish. And so they had one of those cardboard stand-ups of the Dream Team with one guy with the head cut off, so you stand behind there and it looks like you're in the team. But the guy whose body that your head is on, he has a tire around his waist under his jersey. So It's like it's a joke. I'll show it to you. It's on my Facebook, but I'm 10 years old, and I'm like in the stand-up cut when this picture was being taken, and it's a Polaroid because it's like the late 80s, right?
Right.
And some guy walks by. We're in the Garden. We're in Boston. I'm at the basketball game. This guy walks by and goes, "Hey, that kid looks more like Danny Ainge than Danny Ainge looks like Danny Ainge."
Damn.
Because I don't know. I mean, I just did. You see my face, and I was like a little Danny Ainge. Like,
I can see
I
the
was going to
resemblance.
say, TJ, is Danny Ainge really your father?
no, but I mean, I was 10. Yep, good stuff. Good stuff.
Larry Bird. Hell yeah.
Yep, the legend.
I mean, look, you've done so many drawings of so many famous people, but is ICP the only ones you actually got to meet? Like, you never got to meet Larry Bird. Did you ever meet Britney Spears?
No, I didn't meet Britney Spears, but before I started coming to the gathering, I would go to like the Magic Show, which was like a licensing show for sports apparel. So I got to meet several of the athletes that I drew, and
You did get to meet them. That's good. That's
yeah,
what's
I
up.
did. A lot of hockey players like Mario Lemieux and those guys. The Penguins and stuff. Pittsburgh Penguins. I got to meet that whole team. What's his name? Played for the St. Louis Blues forever. Blonde-headed guy. I can't remember what his name was, but Brett Hull. Remember Brett Hull? No, not Brett Hull. Yeah, never mind.
Sounds
Hey,
familiar.
Emmitt Smith, Dallas Cowboys. I got to meet him.
I didn't watch hockey, but
Sugar Ray Leonard, boxer from the 80s, early 90s. But yeah, quite a few athletes.
nice. Yo, I just gotta let you know we got a super chat. Fred the Boy Blue with $2. Whoop whoop. I'll have to watch the replay. Okay, we didn't miss. I mean, if you just joined now, yep, definitely rewatch this shit. We're here live with Tom Wood.
Hey guys.
And we are live everywhere. We are live on my personal YouTube. We are live on Carl Spirit's YouTube, and we are live on Carl Spirit's Facebook.
Wow.
Dual streaming.
Very cool. Well, hopefully I'm not boring everybody to death. This isn't the usual music style interviews that you're used to. Where
No, are you kidding me?
I'm sure that's more
Exciting
market for you.
Like I told you earlier, Tom, a lot of people marked out when I told them you were going to be on the show. So yeah.
Good deal. Well, hopefully it's a success. Hopefully you get more than 15 people showing up.
You're
I'd be shocked.
you're very humble, but kind of like when we all knew you were doing Mr. Rotten Treats and you were getting blown up. Like Chaos was getting blown up as soon as he announced Tom Wood was going to be on the show. Everybody started.
Come on.
Well, like I said, on my show, I don't just want to interview music artists. I want to interview artists, drawers, like entertainers, comedians, all that.
Awesome.
Chaos has these grand dreams of interviewing everybody. I kind of only care about the artists and the juggalos. Like for real. Like I want to interview all the Dead Canvas artists. Like
Yeah,
one at
you
a
should. All
I
of them.
want to have Boppo, Jasmine. I want to have Picasso up here. I'm putting them out there in the universe.
He's an excellent artist. He's put out some great pieces lately too.
Yeah, everybody, even the ones I don't know. I don't know everybody, but I want to interview them all. I want to look at their art. I want to showcase them. I want to share it. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'd be thrilled to come on and probably would unveil some new pieces, or even because a lot of these guys, I can't believe how prolific they are.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys turned out a painting a day, and it's just mind blowing how fast they can crank this stuff out and have it look as good as it does.
It's very common to get like an invitation to a Facebook page. Like I'll get an invitation to a Facebook page, and it'll be like, slept on wicked shit, or hardcore underground shit, or juggalo shit, and I'm just like, all right, I've been here before. I check it out. Like 9 times out of 10, even if the page has something going on, it'll be a ghost town within a month because there's something about stickivity and persistence with a thing.
Right.
And Canvas is a fucking rolling like machine. It is moving and it is active and it has a buzz and it has multiple people that are fueling it and people are loving it. So it's kind of special. It's not like all the others. I'm just saying I get a lot of invites to a lot of dead pages, but Dead Canvas is much alive. That's what I'm saying. It's alive and thriving.
Yeah, you guys should coordinate with Crystal or Picasso, and I'm sure they could set up, a schedule for you guys to.
Oh, hell yeah! I just have
artists. They're great to work with. I'm sure they'd hook you guys up.
Absolutely. Well, no, they would be hooking us up for sure. Because I want to be blessed with their presence. I just wanted to chop it up with them. This isn't boring, Tom. We love chopping it up with you. For real.
Well, I told Tom, I think a lot of people love our interviews because our interviews are just laid back and chill and stuff.
No, yeah, I noticed that. I before you guys sent me the invite to come on, I popped over to YouTube and was watching it and got to watch Beastmaster like destroy that pizza, and it was like, yeah, they seem pretty chill.
Yeah, Beastmaster is a good artist himself. He showed me some of his drawings. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
Who's that?
Me. I actually am a graphic artist.
It's kind of cut out when he said that, but yeah. You should show some of your stuff. Show me some of your work.
I went to school for it. I actually have a BFA in visual communication.
Really?
Yeah, I went to college for art.
Nice.
You might have told me that before. I think when we first met, of course.
Yeah, I probably. I know I did. It's one of those things where when I was a kid, art was my thing. So, and I used pen and ink, and I wasn't really into painting. And there were no computers to do art on back then. But I did a lot of pen and ink, and I actually had some comic strips published as a preteen. In local newspapers, I got comic strips published and stuff.
Really? See, that was my first working art gig too. Was doing political cartoons for the local paper when I was 17.
You know what I was obsessed with as a kid was my parents had a subscription to Newsweek, and Newsweek had the political comics just on one page in the front of the magazine, and I would always just go right to the political comic page, and I was obsessed with that. And in the newspaper, you'd have the comic strips in the newspaper. I collected them. So after years and years, I had mounds of newspapers in my bedroom, and my mom eventually made me throw them away because it was a fire hazard.
Damn.
Yeah, for real. So, I mean, but I love it. I'm drawn to art. Like, even if I'm not drawing myself, I'm drawn to it. And so I really just love how this community is all about that shit, There's definitely an enthusiasm for that shit, No,
yeah, I'd say more than any other genre. Even though I think this community was built around the music, I've not seen any other genre that has so much appreciation for artwork. I mean, the Juggalos, they love their artwork, and enough to be able to follow me and support Dead Canvas and any of the dozens of other artists that seem to be able to produce and even market and sell, products in this community, which isn't, it's not a huge community. There's probably, who knows how many are active, but, it's not like World of Warcraft where you've got millions of people that play all over the world. It's more of a family community of, several thousand active people. I mean, I think there's plenty of juggalos out there, but it seems like there's a core of very active juggalos that, 10,000 people that are on here every night looking for juggalo shit.
It's probably you could probably compare it to like a mom and pop shop, and the town supports the shop. The juggalo community supports just certain entities in the underground. Yeah.
Yep.
And we did have a question from the chat. Lakeland wants to know, Tom, how long does it usually take you to do some of your artwork?
I would say on average, it takes about maybe 4 or 5 days to sketch and then ink and then airbrush. I mean, and really all the creativity comes in the pencil part of it, where you're actually, because there's a difference between looking at something and drawing it and then having to visualize it in your head and then make it make sense on paper. So there's a lot of work that goes into just the breakdown and the layout of it. Just like on Rotten Treats, I spent more time on just figuring out what he was going to look like and doing the shading study and the breakdown of his shape. Because once I get that done and do the inks, then it's just mechanics. Then it's just a matter of making that pencil look realistic. And there's not a lot of, there's some creativity to that, but the funnest part is just building the shape itself, or building the character. So
Are you 100% digital, or do you actually do the pencil sketch and then you scan it? I mean,
yeah, there's no way in hell that I could pencil that on the computer.
yeah,
That's all done on paper. And then once I have my paper, which I use these huge sketch pads that I sketch on, and then I scan those. I do like a piece of vellum, overlay that, where I tighten up my line work and then make some final decisions on how this hand should look, how the fingers look, and then I scan that into the computer and then airbrush it with a Wacom tablet, which this is the pen that you airbrush with. It has the little pressure sensitive knob here, and then it's got the little piece here, and it's all, pressure sensitive.
Right. I don't know if you got other questions lined up, but I have a question. The Hallowicked Tom Wood series you did a couple years ago, right? With the Frankenstein and the Jekyll brothers as wolves and as the Reaper. Dude, that is like a different genre of art, but you killed it.
No, well, I mean, I'm in the graphic design business. I do logos all the time, so
it's not the hyper realistic, but that is like a total like paying homage and visually tricking you. But it's like it's incredible, is what it is.
Yeah, I love those, especially because I grew up watching those Universal monster movies, and I still love those movies even to this day.
Yeah, those all came out great. And I remember the response when we did those was, huge. I got in a little trouble for that one, by the way, which is the first time I kind of got my hand slapped by Psychopathic, because we had done them. And of course, anytime you put something in front of Rob and he just loses his mind over, you're so proud, that you've made Rob so happy. And so we had did this Carnival of Carnage first, and with the exposed ribs and the skeleton face, and he loved it. And then every time we did another one, he just kept getting more and more excited. So we had that done probably a month before Hallowicked, and then they ran a flyer, and it was like this low res sheet that showed those little pictures of them on the shirts. And I couldn't wait to see what all the response was from everybody when they seen them, except they were a little low res. And so I went ahead and took my higher res one so people could actually see what they look like. Well, that was not part of their marketing plan, because the cool thing about Psychopathic, and I've come to love and learn, is they like to tease you a little bit. It's about building that hype, and it's very similar to the wrestling genre, which they pull a lot of their marketing, style from. And it's just, we're going to let you see a little bit of it. So when I sort of went out on my own and put those out there for people to see, it was like, yeah, that's not how we do it. So, it's been a learning process too. I'm excited, because every time I finish a piece of artwork, just like Rotten Treats, 5 years ago, I would have done that thing and I would have just slapped it on there with no, and not waited at all, because I want to see, I want to put it in front of everybody and just shoot my wad right there, and just so to speak. And as far as I've learned from those guys, this is how you build hype. This is how you garner interest in something, and then promote it, and then release a little bit of a time. So that's even with Fred Fury and Rotten Treats, I was releasing smaller snippets, and based on what I learned from that small mistake with the Hallowicked Jokers.
It's even just like it almost makes sense on a level of, hey, not everybody sees it the first time around, and then the second. So if you put a teaser out there, you get that awareness, and then maybe a follow up, and then there's bigger. So it makes sense because once you're aware, but you can expand that radius without blowing the wad.
Exactly. and to that point, Mr. Rotten Treats was by far my biggest post. I think I had it more than double what my usual likes and shares were on for that piece. So it was a big success. I was proud of that it was received so well.
And I love it. You do the top 9. Oh, sorry, Kale. Do you look at your top 9 at the end of the year on Instagram? Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
Because you can just basically plug in your account, and then it tells you what your top 9 Instagram posts were for the year. Likewise. And I bet your Mr. Rotten Treats is going to be right there, front and center.
It's easily number 1. I think on a good post, you're looking at probably 300 or 400 likes on something like that, and I think Rotten Treats was easily double that. So by far my biggest post of Juggalo stuff in my entire career.
That sounds criminal to me. 300-400 likes doesn't sound like nearly enough for even your most average work. So we're gonna have to up that.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. That's fine.
I know. You're not like a rapper who's trying to run those numbers up, ninjas.
I think he would run those numbers up quite a bit lately. Of course, Rotten Treats did. He probably put another 100 followers to me, but Card.com is
the other way around, man. I thought your endorsement of Dead Canvas would have given them 100 new followers.
No, I don't know. You guys,
what are you talking about?
I'm not near as
sure?
famous as you guys seem to think I am.
All right,
the Gathering crowd, I think I know everybody there, and I think most of the Gathering crowd knows me. But outside of that, it's
it's like in our chat, we got motherfuckers watching us now that are like, Suicide's the shit. And I'm like, yeah, he is. And probably most of the world is like, who's Suicide? But we love him.
Yeah, he is. He's famous to us. Scott, he's amazing.
Dude, if you guys haven't heard Smart Alec, his newest album, it's his best fucking work he's ever done. It just came out. It's so good. So good. Check out Suicide, Smart Alec.
Check that out.
It's like with us here at Carnival Spirits, we'll be walking around events, and then people will come up to us and be like, Carnival Spirits, and they'll give us props, or people will be like, Don Chaos, and people are like, who's Don Chaos? And a lot of people will be like, he's the Karma Millionaire.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
No, real Tom Wood at the Gathering when you're meeting people and stuff. How surreal is that? That's way different than going to those sports conventions and meet. That.
Oh, it's very surreal. And I feel bad because my first gathering was when at 17, I didn't know anybody, and I was shy. I stayed in the gaming tent and played with those guys, learned how to play the game. So, and that was great. I made some great friends playing when Into the Echo Side was introduced. But, since then, as I've gotten to know people, and I realized how much I missed. I was missing at that first gathering because, I didn't think that I really fit in there because, I don't have any tattoos. I don't have any piercings, and, I don't even smoke. So I was like, I'm not sure, how well I would be received. And there was a Tom Wood following even then, but I'm like, once they see this redneck, show up, they're not gonna, or this cowboy, I don't know that, they would be as welcoming as they had been online. And come to find out, they were even more so. I just had to, get out there and visit, and probably some of the nicest people, that you could ever meet. I remember meeting, Dustin Lane and Christy backstage that first one. Of course, I met Scotty D and Amanda and Natalie, the ring girl. And these have all been. They're all still great friends with me, and of course Heather Mars and Z staples at at any gathering. They're always there, and
I'm
very
so
welcome.
myself. I know every single person you just name dropped. That's awesome. But it's so true. This is a very tight knit community. It's something else. At the gathering, the way that you felt at first, I felt that way at my first gathering, because in 2001, I was in college. I didn't have any Juggalo tattoos. I mean, I had been down with the clown since like 96, 97. I was going to shows. So in 2001, I've been to a shit ton of shows, but I wasn't like partying with those Juggalos. I was showing up to the show, having my mind blown, and then going home.
Right.
And going home and going, I can't believe what the fuck I just went to. And all those crazy motherfuckers, like, we didn't all start getting to know each other and partying with each other, at least for me, until like a decade later. Like, I really stayed anonymous for a long time.
Wow. Yeah, that's a shame. 10 years of,
Well, think about that. When you go to a concert, have you ever been to an Aerosmith concert? It's not like everybody in the crowd is all of a sudden brothers and sisters. Like, it happens at like the Grateful Dead or Fish because you're following them, and once you've been to like 665 Fish shows, you're eventually gonna, like get married to a few people. I don't know. Like,
well, I'll tell you, the turning point for me wasn't going to several gatherings in a row. The magic, key to get into that world was, I don't know if it would have been another gathering. It could have been 5 gatherings, but what changed it so quickly for me, not knowing these people, I remember seeing them. I remember seeing Mankini, and like, that's really bizarre. And, all the other stuff that was going on was just mind blowing, but I just internalized it and just left. And then when DCG1 came along, which is a whole different vibe, and it wasn't the craziness of the gathering and certain, camps that you had to sort of walk into as a stranger. Everybody was there, and everybody was just very easy. It was very easy to go up and talk to any of these people, and everybody was so, welcoming and as they always are. You just had to have a little bit of confidence to go up there and visit with them. And,
there's an extra element at the gathering that could be a little put offish or like, shock. I think at the DCG con, it was more centralized to the unity and the vendors and the artists and stuff,
Right. Well, that, and, you had to sit down at a table across from this person or 3 other people and play, whether it was Quest for Shangri-La or Into the Echo Side or Morton's List. I mean, you had to get to know these people. And it was not that it was forced on you, but it was, just part of it. You got to know them and they introduced themselves, and especially if, a lot of them knew that I had something to do with Echo Side. So they were, more than happy to talk about the game. And that was just a very easy icebreaker. So by the time my second gathering came around, I was very excited to go because I had my, a crew that I knew and was looking forward to it.
Yeah. Did you ever do the escape room that they put together?
I did the escape room at Hallowicked last year. And my team failed miserably. I mean, I think we were racing another team, and Scotty D was on that other team, and they kicked our ass.
When they debuted that was my first Hallowicked ever. Like, for me, that was like some bucket list shit, because I've been down all this time, and then I finally go to Hallowicked just 2 years ago. But they had the escape room, and I did not sign up quick enough, and it was all booked, and I didn't get to do it. So,
that sucks. So you didn't go last year to Detroit? I mean,
no, I actually bought a ticket for last year, but I had a last minute health emergency. I got like a staph infection, and I got injured like right before Hallowicked last year. I couldn't travel.
That's terrible.
I had like a cyst on my back that was like.
That's okay.
Yeah, it was gross.
That sounds just terrible.
It was like I was like Beastmaster. I'm like becoming what I was meant to be. Like, but anyway, yeah. So 2 years ago was my first Halloween. I was gonna go again last year and never made it. But and if they had DCG Con last year, maybe we would have had, you know. But I'll get my chance to do the escape room one day. One day.
Well, I told myself that I was kind of on a bucket list last year. I wanted to do one Hallowicked, and I wanted to do at least one J-Day weekend, which the first one that I did was in New Orleans, which was amazing. I should have every one of them in New Orleans. It was fucking awesome. Just because after the show ended, all the juggalos could go down onto Bourbon Street and Lafayette, and just it was just great. Whereas in Vegas was cool, but once the show ended, it seemed like we all just kind of went our separate ways to our different Airbnbs or hotels, and it wasn't that same, you know, unified juggalo army that was marching through the city like it was in New Orleans.
I wonder why that is, because Vegas is like that. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas vibe, where New Orleans is more of that show your titties in the street for beads vibe. Like
Right.
It's more.
Yeah, Vegas is more like an entertainment city, so you would wonder.
No, I agree with that.
You know, now, I've never been to Vegas, but I've been to New Orleans. But I feel like it don't count because I was like 3 years old. My parents went to New Orleans and brought me. I don't really remember it, but they told me I was there.
Yeah, one of our crew members, Shanzi, actually went there one year for Halloween, and he said New Orleans around Halloween time is gorgeous because the old cemeteries.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was the year where Shanzi was debating. He's like, I don't know what to do, New Orleans or Hallowicked. And
Yeah,
like,
we told him to go do a ghost hunt in an old cemetery.
Other than the DCG cons and the gatherings, I think my favorite event has been the New Orleans J-Day weekend. I think that's hard to beat. That was a really good time.
LA? You didn't go to LA this year?
Yeah, I went to LA.
Oh, you were there too? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Were you there?
No, Juggalo Day is one of the few things I've never done. You know, I'm from the East Coast, right? And I've been to half the gatherings. I've been to 10 gatherings, but I never went to a Hallowicked until 2 years ago. I've never done a Juggalo Day, you know, and what's the other thing I never did? Big Ballers. Never done them. I never went to Detroit, you know, so, but gatherings used to be what it was. Well, I guess Hallowicked used to be what it was first, but again, that was Detroit. It's hard being a Juggalo because with so much freshness, you know, and if you do suffer from fear of missing out, it could be a hard time for you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you did go to the march. Don't forget that, TJ.
Hey, I attended the Juggalo March, and that right there is one of my pride and joy moments, I tell you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish I would have made the march. I did not make it. I think that was like right after the first DCG. I think we had the OJ17 and then DCG, and then right after that was the march.
Oh yeah. That year was incredible because I did a lot that year. And by the way, hey, the ICP Peep Show, that they did last month. When they talked about the Juggalo March in the ICP seminar, they started showing pictures from the march, and like I remember, and I don't know if you remember this, Chaos, in the Carnival Spirits chat, I made a comment. I was like, I was looking for myself, because I was there. I'm like looking for myself in the pictures. I didn't see myself, but I was looking, right? Well, upon a rewatch, I saw a picture of that I never saw before, and then I saw myself, and I was like, holy shit, there I am.
There you are.
I actually discovered a new picture of me at the march on ICP's House Party Peep Show. I'm going to take a screenshot, and I'll put it on Carnival Spirits Instagram like later tonight. I'll show you guys.
I was going to joke with you and go, was it your famous picture holding the FBI listens to Nickelback poster?
No, it wasn't that. Have you seen that? Did you see that sign, Tom Wood?
Yeah, I've seen that.
You made that.
So,
oh, really?
yeah, because here's how that happens. I've been watching CPN videos like, you know, since like 2000. I'm sorry, since like 2006. Like I've been watching CPN for a long time, and then we actually met. He's a good friend, but one of the things he said was, "Yeah, someone should make a sign that says FBI listens to Nickelback." And I was like, mental note. He said it a long time prior. So at the march in the hotel the morning of, I made like fucking 17 signs, like with the quickness. Like I bought all the poster boards and all the markers ahead of time, but I didn't make the signs ahead of time. So in the morning in the hotel, the morning of the march, I'm making signs one after another. And I tell you, I handed them out, and all my signs can be seen all over the internet. I mean, I'm just saying, I made like a dozen signs that you saw. No one knows I made them. Many different people are holding them. One of them was the FBI listens to Nickelback sign, and I misspelled Nickelback. It was not on.
God.
It wasn't on purpose, but I was going fast, and it was Crazy McCormick who told me. He was like, "Hey, you know you misspelled nickel, right?" And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I got more signs to make. Shut up. Anyway, yeah. So, do you know that? That show, Samantha Bee? She's got some TV show.
Yeah, I've seen advertisements for it. I haven't watched it, but I've seen advertisements for it.
Yeah. So apparently, like when we walked out of the hotel, and I gave the sign to CPN. Some chick was like, "Ooh, can I take a picture of you with that sign?" And CPN was like, "Sure." So he holds up the sign. And I was like, "Yo, I made that sign." So I jumped in the picture at the last second. You know, I was like, "Hey, me too." You know,
really proud of that sign.
Yeah. And turns out she was like a reporter. And so her Twitter account went viral. And Samantha Bee actually showed that picture and made it the punchline of one of her monologues where she covered the Juggalo March on national television. It's fucking awesome.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so I had people blowing me up, like people from elementary school, people from college, people were hitting me up going, "I just saw you on TV." It was awesome. I mean, the Juggalo March was like, I don't know, it was unreal, but I digress.
No, I mean, I've heard from several people that the march is, you know, very one of a kind, spiritual, almost, you know, feel to it. And
yeah, well, there's also the fact that it was really just about awareness and clearing our name, because there's nothing we can do about the past and bad apples or whatever. But as long as everybody knows, like, hey, you're trying to fucking pigeonhole a fan base here, like, you know, you got to nip that in the bud. Otherwise, it's going to spread, you know?
No, I never understood the whole gang label thing anyway. It never made sense to me. I'm not sure under which, who enacted that thing or who was in charge of the FBI who decided that this was a good idea.
Yeah, right.
How did this ever even come into, you know, how did this ever happen?
It's funny because
was there some one act that caused them to do this? I mean,
there was a few, and the thing is, there's a book. Steve Miller wrote a book, and I actually just bought it recently. I'm going to read it. This is something I plan on doing here on Carnival Spirits. I plan on reviewing this book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to do a book report for you guys, and I'm going to read the book. I'm going to report on it. I'm also going to report on Tom Dubb's book. It's something because, you know, everyone like watches movies, listens to music, makes videos about it. I'm going to read these Juggalo books, and I'm going to review them for YouTube.
Nice.
That's my thing. I'm going to try and do, like, you know, next year or moving forward.
That series that I've been like adding to Carnival Spirits that I'm going to reamp, where I actually live read like the ICP comics and I read them to you guys, the viewers, and I like show the pictures as I'm reading it, because I know a lot of juggalos have told me, you know, I've never read the Pendulum series. I'm like, well, here's your chance. I'll read it live to you guys.
Oh yeah, that should do well.
You know who's already
impersonate the voices and whatnot.
You got to put your spin on it, because DC Fago guy has already done a few, not all of them, just a few. You know.
Well, and I'm good at voice impersonation. You know this.
Really, you're good at voice impersonations?
Like I could talk like this for so many hours, you would think it's my actual accent. See, I could turn it right off.
Wow, that was inspired. It's almost
Yeah,
like
me and my niece will like do that for
a
hours.
spirit took him over there for a second, Beast Pastor.
Yeah, me and my niece will do that for hours. We'll like talk like we're from the South, and people will legitimately think we're from the South. It's funny.
I mean, is there some? There's, um, so some of the Juggalo literature that you're reading, that you think that Southern accent's going to come in handy?
Oh,
Well, mainly in the story, like when it involves like the rednecks that they're dealing with in the story. Yes.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because they do have
Southern rednecks, pieces of shit. You gotta watch.
fucking love it. I fucking love it. Oh man, I completely lost my mind right here. What the hell are we talking about? Oh yeah, those comics. No, but those books, right? I mean, the Juggalo book. It's called Juggalo. Steve Miller. He wrote. It's a book about the FBI thing, but there's a Netflix document. I don't know if you saw this part of the Peep Show. There's a Netflix documentary coming out. Okay, it's not Netflix, but it's a documentary coming out about the FBI gang assessment list. And these people took like 4 years to make this documentary, and it's going to have a lot of what's in the book, you know. So it's going to tell that story. So if you don't know the full story, next year we're all gonna get schooled with the documentary. It's coming out.
I can't wait.
Yeah, but there is a Netflix documentary maybe coming out. They're working on ICP's working on a documentary deal with Netflix right now to potentially put out like a documentary series to coincide with the 30th anniversary of ICP next year. So that's the thing that might happen. Yeah, they announced this.
I would love to be on something like that, but just because I wasn't a ICP fan when I knew of ICP when I was, in my late teens, early 20s when they first started. They came onto the scene pretty quickly, and everyone knew about Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
But I really didn't start following them, and listening to the music until I started, when I started doing work for them, because when they would say something based on, whatever song or chicken hunt, I don't know what that meant, so I would go read the lyrics, So I started, that's how I got into. And then listening to the songs and stuff. So I knew, when I drew something, it was, not going to be completely rejected by the Juggalos and say, this guy obviously didn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
We're lucky, though. We're lucky because their lyrics are pretty much the only barometer for this whole universe. Like, because they did not have a presence outside of the music back in the day. They were elusive. You couldn't find out anything about them. You had to dig and search, and maybe they had something on their website, but it's like you wanted more. Nowadays, it's a lot different. Now you get so much, and it's like we expect so much. We're very spoiled these days. Back in the day, it was like you really had to fucking, keep your head on a swivel just to catch something or to, so.
Yeah, you basically brought the music to life, basically.
The documentary about the Juggalo March that is coming out. There is a potential chance that I'm in it because I did get interviewed at the march, and whoever interviewed me and Sister Hatchet, that footage has never come out. So I kind of thought that maybe the project died. They're just not doing it because there were other people that filmed stuff that never came out, like Vice TV, the YouTube channel Vice. They had a whole film team that actually was in communication with us and actually filmed interviews in my hotel room the day before the march.
Holy shit.
And that shit never came out. Like, never came out. McEnhose was interviewed right in our hotel room. Like, I showed up and they were already filming. It was weird. Like, I interrupted the interview showing up to my hotel room. I'm like, oh, sorry. Like, they're like, oh, do we need to put a mic on him? They're like, no, never mind. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just stand there in the back. Like, it was weird.
Shit.
Yeah. But yeah, that footage never saw the light of day. I mean, but that was Bryce. I think, the guy that was, spearheading that project, I think he got fired. So I don't know. But yeah, I got interviewed by someone with Sister Hatchet, and man, I was so pumped to see that footage. But I never did. But now I have hope. I have hope again. Maybe the people that are making this documentary with ICP, maybe they're the ones that have my footage. I don't know.
You'll see that footage is definitely going to come out one of these days, and it's amazing. In the time that I've been kind of in this group, it's people seem to want to know more and more about the Juggalos. I mean, it's you see it in a lot of popular culture stuff, whether it's Tosh.0 or if it's Juggalos on Family Guy. I mean, it seems like it's everywhere, and people, they just get these little glimpses of it, and they just want to know more, about it. So
the pop culture, the integration in the pop culture is the best. You know, like when you see an episode of Workaholics, or
great episode,
Squeakquelies, or all the cartoons. And that's another thing. There's another Netflix cartoon coming out. It's called Inside Job next year. It's like, I guess it's a political cartoon, and ICP have cameos where they got scripts. So they're going to be in the cartoon playing themselves cartoons. But Shaggy said they don't know what they're saying. They're reading a script, and it's all political. So who knows what the fuck? All I know is that if people get mad at the cartoon, just know that ICP didn't write the script. They don't know what they're saying. So chill out if it fucking offends you. Like, it's a cartoon, for fuck's sake. Everybody needs to fucking relax.
All right.
Preemptively a little worried, just because, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And then things go wrong where it's like, you have no business going wrong. Why are things going wrong like they are? How is this happening? It's a weird world.
It is weird.
And you just got more props, Tom. One of the homie Lakeland, who's done a lot of artwork for us, he said he wanted to let you know that he inspired you to do Juggalo artwork, and you're awesome.
Oh wow, that means a lot. Tell him I said thank you. That's a hell of a prop coming from an artist of his caliber. That's great.
Man, Lunacy is the shit. He is our fucking boy. He has blessed us so much. Like, he's our Tom Wood. Carnival Spirits has so much fucking rad. I mean, the whole Juggalo community, actually, he is fucking just completely draped the Juggalo community, the YouTube community especially. I love that about him, that he's made the YouTube community look so fresh.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And I'm supposed to get him on for an interview because, like I was telling TJ, this dude is an old school Juggalo as old school gets. Like, he's originally from Detroit, so he's that old school.
Wow. Yeah, that's legit.
No doubt. Yeah, much love to Lakeland Lunacy.
Absolutely, yeah. Much props. I mean, very talented man.
You guys inspire me, because like I said, I used to do a lot of art back in the day. I'm just saying, admittedly, like, I have not done it in a long time, and I don't know. Maybe my thing is more common than your thing, right? Because I feel a lot of people have potential, a lot of people have talent, but not a lot of people discipline or know how to like grab their focus and know how to, or maybe have the right mentors and influence to go in the direction where they utilize the skill, the natural talent they have. A lot of people I know are talented, and no one knows it.
Right.
You find out and you're like, why aren't you famous or something? That type of thing, right?
Yeah, you're 100% right. I know when I was going through school, I decided in first grade I was going to be an artist. And really that I didn't have a backup plan. When I got, when it was time to graduate high school, it was, go into college and try to go into graphic design. And then, and that was my only plan. There was no plan B for me. And, but usually what I see a lot of is, you've got these amazingly talented youngsters that, that's all they do is draw. They draw, and their walls are covered in pieces of artwork, and they seem like nothing can possibly stop this powerhouse of talent. And then the girlfriend comes along, or not that that's a bad thing, or the boyfriend comes along, and it sidetracks that devotion to the art. And then before you know it, you're in a relationship. You don't have the time you used to have to pour into it. And that's one thing that a lot of these, that I was very, even though I was into sports, I played basketball and baseball, and, worked on the farm. But when I got, every chance I got, I was sketching. I was always drawing. Mm-hmm. And so, it seems like if you can just avoid those detours that sidetrack you and end a lot of, very talented, potentially talented careers, if you can get into your early 20s, and then my advice would be, don't just get a job. Get a job at like a screen printing shop, or a Hobby Lobby, where you can concentrate. Your job every day is doing artwork. And that's what I did. I got a job at a screen printing company where I got to draw the stupidest shit ever, like, outhouse race t-shirts or whatever, but I was doing artwork every day. And that's really where I saw my skill level elevate quickly, is just doing it 8 hours a day, every day, 5 days a week, sometimes, 7 days a week, depending on where I was working at. But it was in the screen printing industry. And that led to Salem Sportswear, which led to, interestingly enough, I digress, but the job I had in sports, I was working at Salem Sportswear, and that's screen printing led me to Salem Sportswear, and I was doing printed apparel there. My manager, Carrie Gallagher, was the one that hooked me up. She worked at Live Nation and said, I know this guy that would be good for this. And the reason she thought I'd be good for it is because when we do college artwork and pro artwork, we have to send it to their lawyers, and all my stuff was super fucking evil, and they would always send it back. They would reject it based on the fact that it looks too satanic. I remember my North Carolina Tar Heel goat got rejected like 10 times. It's way too satanic looking. So anyway, when ICP came along, came onto her desk, she said, I know the artist that would be perfect for this stuff. So, and that's really how my ICP career got started.
Nice.
So you never know where it's going to lead, but try to get into the field that you want to follow. It's hard to go work as a bartender and then do art in the little bit of time that you have left.
Exactly. You're doing a career for something you love, and that's the advice that I give people: is do a career of something you love doing.
Right. Lots of people want to get into art and they don't know how to break into it. And if it's not as easy when you're older, it's a lot easier when you're younger and not married, no kids, to take that hit and take a shitty paying job and get into that art field and then try to build your career there. It's hard leaving a good paying job and then starting over. So, I'd say your best bet is do it while you're young, in your early 20s. Get into that field and take that job, even if it's like emptying waste baskets in the art department or taking a production art job where there's not a lot of creativity, but at least you're learning the programs that you're going to be able to use years down the line. That's when I learned Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop was, in those, first few years of working, and that's paid dividends for decades after. So.
Nice.
All right. That's why I do these interviews, is I like to just chop it up with people, but I also like to get people out there that I feel deserve those props and those recognition, people like you and stuff. I've always been the person where I always give back, and I never ask for anything in return.
No, that's great. Yeah. you guys have done a great job, and shout out to Carnival Spirits. You guys have just been killing it for years, and you always have your staff is made up of really talented, driven people, and you guys have just done great. Doing great for the Juggalos.
Hell yeah! Thank you.
We appreciate that, man. We are about to hit our 9th anniversary, and it's fucking crazy that it's been 9 years we've been on YouTube like that, because that's just a drop in the bucket in my Juggalo timeline, but it means a lot as far as I guess exposure and connectivity with the family. A lot of people, when I first started YouTube, were like, holy shit, they put a face to the name because they knew my name already from music. And I was so apprehensive about this, about YouTube. And I'm just saying, like, it doesn't come naturally to me. It didn't come naturally to me. I had a huge comfort zone to break just to get up and speak, go live. Are you kidding me? Like, I just made videos first. Like, I mean, all this shit, like, I don't know. Maybe we make it look easy. It's been a while. But,
pretty easy. You guys seem very relaxed.
Yeah, but you know what? I attribute that to the camaraderie that we have. And that's what it really is. If we didn't all actually feel like we're all brothers and sisters with each other for real, we wouldn't have lasted this long.
Right. No,
There's a lot of other YouTube channels that have not lasted because they didn't have a connect. They didn't respect each other. They didn't respect what they were doing.
I agree. And of course, Scotty Two Balls, I've known him for years. He's super talented guy. He's taken a lot of my artwork and done some really cool After Effects onto it. And
so many. Scotty Two Balls deserves the endless shout outs for his
100%. In fact, why isn't he here? He should be in this like lower corner here.
Get in here.
Yeah, where are you, Scotty Balls? I don't know. I don't know what Scotty is tonight. If you didn't know, Scotty Balls works in a nursing home, and he got promoted like not too long ago.
Oh, great.
He had been working in this field for like 15 years, and he finally is now like a boss.
Wow. Proof that hard work pays off too.
Yeah. And I know that he talks about his personal life on his live stream, so I'm not like spilling anything that he hasn't already shared, but he has a hella stressed out life right now with COVID, working in the nursing home.
I can't imagine.
And he's in charge of everybody, and he's got like staff members and patients all catching COVID around him. It's crazy out there. Like,
but he's been safe. He's been unaffected so far.
Yeah, so far him and his family are safe. I mean, knock on wood, and of course I don't want to say anything I'm not supposed to say. So if someone has gotten COVID, I don't want to say so. But he and his family, his immediate family, are safe. And but he's got 5 kids. That's a lot of people in his immediate family.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, bless his heart. He's got a Juggalo clan out there. I love Scotty Balls. Scotty Balls created Carnival Spirits. Like, he is our, like, fucking, L. Ron Hubbard. Like.
Wow. Yeah. Fitting. I think you couldn't have said it better.
He's our Scotty. Where Fagel Lover says Scotty D, he's our Scotty.
Yeah, but Scotty D didn't create Fagel Lovers, just saying. He acquired Fagel Lovers. So in a way, I'm like Scotty D, because when Scotty Balls actually like passed Carnival Spirits off to me and Callie Green at one point, he left. He left to handle personal business. So for a few years, me and Callie Green were running Carnival Spirits, and then Scotty Balls came back, and we became the Triforce of the Gnome, and we all run it together, the 3 of us equally. That's what we do.
Yeah, basically you, me, Scotty, Panic, and Callie Green, all 5 of us are like the OG members.
Yeah, we're all the members that started in the beginning, but we're always welcoming new ninjas to join us. At one point, we had a roster of 17 Juggalos on this channel.
Holy shit!
Yeah, but not everyone wants to YouTube all the time, and people fell off, and people were inactive for like multiple years, and we just had to kind of, you know, cut the dead wood off. But no pun intended.
But every now and then we'll do like a cool series, like every month, called Juggalo Takeover, and we give other YouTubers or anyone like a chance for them to shine. Basically, it's like us going, "Here you go."
Forgot about that. Last year we started that. We did Juggalo Takeover, where we invite all other YouTubers to come submit videos or come do a live stream on our channel. You know, we got 5,500 subscribers. You know, we're pushing 6,000. So we do have a lot of potential viewers. A YouTube channel out there has like 100 subscribers, 500 subscribers, 1,000. All right. If you want to get a push, come send us your shit. Like, get in contact with me. Hit up Scotty. Hit up Don Chaos. We will put you on, because that's kind of what we like doing. We want the YouTube Juggalo community to look fresh. And so if we can help give our subscribers to you, like, we'll do that.
Oh,
And that, we just want to give everyone props. Like I said, another reason why I do this podcast, The Hours of Chaos, because I want to give everyone's word out there. So, like, if you ever are doing any artwork, Tom, that you want to debut for the first time live, just let me know. Say, "Hey, Don, I want to show something live. Hit me up so I can show it, and I'll send you the link and you can show it."
oh, that's awesome.
I mean, he means, like, if you made an omelet and you're proud of that shit,
Do it.
Okay. You got it.
yeah.
So maybe artificially inseminate Mikal, something like that might be. That would go over well with you guys, with your crowd.
That's the shit. You know, my mom grew up in Minnesota on a farm. I used to go to Minnesota on the summers and on the cow farm and hang out with my cousins and the cows and the silo and the tractors, all that shit. Play in the barn with the hay bales and the rope swings, and good memories there. You know?
Oh yeah, a lot of people in my family grew up on a farm too, so I do come from a family of farmers myself.
It's weird though, because my dad was from Brooklyn, so I also used to go to the city in New York and visit that side of the family, and very polar, very different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I've had a few juggalos that's come out to the farm. In fact, I think I don't know if you know Megan, Marie, and Hatter. They're coming out. I think they're going to stop by the farm.
Is that Megan Too Fresh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to come out to the house on Saturday and visit. So it'll be always good for them. But I know a couple of juggalos come out there.
Professional with her comedy, you know, definitely. That's something that we want to help push. Like, let her know Carnival Spirits is down to help promote her in any of her aspirations in comedy.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, like some of the stuff she posts on Instagram is just freaking hilarious.
Yep. She's a natural talent. She's funny as fuck.
And just every time we see each other at Juggle events, I'm like, Megan, and she's like, darn, and then we give each other a hug.
Yo, can you tell us about your canoe trips? Your annual canoe trips that I was so like jelly of.
I just got you to come. We had the best. We had the best time.
I saw footage. It looked like it was very fun.
Oh, it was. You guys, I think I have some. I might have some stickers left over. But anyway, we did because the whole summer kind of got canceled.
Yeah,
I did the float trip, and I've been talking about this for a little while now.
This was the first time you ever did it?
The very first one, and I've always said that getting the juggalos together down here on beautiful Spring River and Mammoth Spring, Arkansas, and taking them on a 13-mile float trip would just be a blast, especially for those people that live in the city that really don't get to experience the outdoors and nature like like we do here. I thought it would be perfect for them, and we had a huge turn. I wouldn't say huge. We probably had around 100 people that came out floating.
That's huge. What are you talking about? You had 100 people on a canoe trip? That's fucking huge.
I don't know. I mean, over the course of the weekend, there was probably 100 people. We had 2 float trips. We floated Friday and we floated Saturday, and we had a great time. And it was and we stayed at Minnie Allen's camp, which is my family owns that. So we, the cops didn't bother us. We put on an impromptu concert there with the help of Hatchet Mountain Records.
That's
And
awesome. I
yeah,
didn't
it went off well.
Wow.
I would love that because I love the outdoors. Because being from Colorado, we love the outdoors here.
Oh, yep, absolutely. Yeah, Colorado's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Massachusetts, and we fucking hate outdoors. It sucks. Yo,
No, you guys have beautiful
You
beaches.
guys go outside right there at, peak leaf watching season. You guys go out there for that.
yeah, the leaves are turning. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, well, a lot of motherfucking Yankees love that stuff. They love it.
I'm just busting Don's chops because he's like, I'm from Colorado. We appreciate outdoors out here. Like,
No, you love the outdoors.
oh, y'all don't understand how we love outdoors.
That was a little condescending, I have to admit.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but yeah, when it was all said and done, I would love to do that again, and take more juggalos down the river.
That's on my radar. So if there is an opportunity where I'm able to, I'm going to try because I would love to do that. I've done a canoe trip on the Saco River going through Ipswich up into New Hampshire, and one of my good friends from high school, elementary school, high school, my hometown, his family owns a canoe shop right here in Rowley, Mass, and so it's one of those things where it's not a huge part of my pastime, but there's a connection, and so I would love to partake in that because good people, a place I've never been that looks fucking awesome to visit, and it would obviously have a lot of good karma and clown love because of you and the people that you attract. I know there would be other people that I know or would enjoy meeting there, So,
Absolutely. No, I think there was a good crew, and I got to meet a lot of people. When you get to the gathering or some of these other shows, there's so many people. You tend to talk to people that and you may meet a handful of other people, but you don't meet a whole lot of new people ever. You meet a few more every show, and your circle grows slowly. But when you go to one of these new events and there's not 5,000 people there, you're able to meet a lot more people and have a chance to actually, visit with them.
it's like you said about DCG Con and about how that's solidifying things for you. Like I've been to 10 gatherings, but 10 gatherings, I've met new people each gathering.
Right.
But I think at the second DCG Con in Colorado, the one I went to, I probably made more connections at that event than I did in half the gatherings I've been to. No shit. And I really mean that. Like it was whack that the shit got shut down, but because it got shut down, we all fucking just like connected,
No, you're right. We all pulled together to try to salvage that event.
Yeah, and
we all got packed into that atrium where we were, right there with each other all the fucking time.
And there was
anywhere that you would go that I didn't see where you were at that, at that show.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
really.
we did a live stream right there in the lobby. It was awesome.
Oh, really? Did you have the beautiful backdrop, the waterfall in the background?
Yeah, we did because there was a television, a big screen television in the lobby that they let ninjas like plug in their game stations and stuff. So they were playing video games, and so there were video game tournaments and stuff going on, things that were supposed to happen in the convention. And because it just happened to be a video game tournament, that still happened in the lobby, Crazy McCormick, he still did some of his tournament shit. But yeah, so we sat down in front of the television. We had a little like semicircle, and Brooklyn Menace, I don't know if he's still watching, but shout out to Brooklyn Menace. He brought all his equipment, computer, camera, everything. And he helped us live stream on Carnival Spirits. Because back then I used to go live every Saturday. It was called Every Saturday Afternoon, and I did it for like 2.5 years. Every Saturday live for 2.5 years on this channel. Really fun. It kind of it just kind of became old. But
have
We all-
every Saturday.
yeah, but I think that has something to do with part of why, I don't know, a lot of good experiences going live every weekend. When we went to DCG Con, we went live for 3 hours, and it was epic.
Yeah, at one point during the stream, someone told us, "Oh, Shaggy just walked by while you guys were streaming." I'm like, "Really? We didn't even notice that."
He went to the ATM, I think.
And then we went live. Remember the night before the con actually started, where we were all drinking and just talking. It was awesome.
Yeah, we went live the night before, and we were in the hotel.
And we were all giving Brooklyn shit because he hadn't had like a fig in a long time, so he was getting like sugar drunk off of it, and we were just laughing at him.
Yeah, I was there. We were still setting up. I was helping Rob and them with getting all the games and stuff like that coordinated the night before. So we worked late that night, but yeah.
Like how I told you earlier before we went live, we were actually the ones who did the backyard wrestling tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I just because we're talking about this, I thought of him. We haven't even mentioned his name, and I want to give him a shout out because he is one of my favorite artists in the scene. Mikey Bone Road, you know.
I know.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, because it's funny because he was at that DCG Con, and I didn't see him. Like, I missed him. Like, you know, I guess the first day I just didn't make it to his booth. And then, you know, there was no booth after that.
Right.
I knew you got your booth set up again in the lobby, but he didn't. So I never saw his shit. But prior to that event, I actually bought I commissioned a piece from him for a mixtape of mine.
Really? Oh,
yeah. I'll show it to you. I got an original Mikey Bone Road piece from like 2009.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Check this out. Here we go. Pull this bitch off the wall.
Let's see this shit.
That is so dope.
Yeah, that's Mikey. Yeah, you can't. There's nobody else that's got the same style as Mike Bone Road does. He's got a very definitive look.
Yeah, I asked him for you know what rat fink is with he's
Sure.
the car with the big wheels and the big skulls on the handles. So technically, that's what I was looking for, like the car and the. But when I said I want a rhino rat fink, this is what I got.
Well, the head's big.
Yeah, and he's got the tail, you know. So but apparently, I don't think he knew what I meant. He looked it up, but he must not have seen the car.
Yeah, you got to have the big stick shift and the little huge smoke coming out of the. Exactly.
So it wasn't what I thought. Like when I requested it, I was hoping it would be him in the car, but still, this is fucking amazing, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you probably wasn't expecting so much bodily fluid to be coming out of that rhino.
Oh, this is what I was hoping for. Are you kidding me? With his style, like that's why I went to him.
Also, shout out to Ninja with a Pencil, who's in the chat. Another very dope Juggalo.
Oh, yeah. Wood, are you familiar with a Ninja with a Pencil? Have you ever looked at his Instagram account?
No, bring it up.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. He's
very dope work.
He's been on the channel tons of times. You know, he's a friend of the Carnival Spirits. All right, hold on.
Our brother, all the way from Canada.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
He does a lot of requests where ninjas will say, "Hey, draw this," and then he goes to town. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So here is his Instagram.
Wow, I've not seen these. This is cool.
I mean, I'm just gonna scroll slowly, okay, so you can see the shit. But
right.
yeah, he just does like the craziest fucking shit. He's awesome.
Wow. Very cool.
So yeah, we actually have a lot of legitimate Juggalo artists here in the chat. So hell yeah.
Yo, shout out to a Ninja with a Pencil. This
Very
motherfucker,
impressive.
he
Very
really
impressive.
is. Like I need to give him this moment of shine because like look at this fucking shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. It is so wild. Like
Oh, look at that octopus.
I mean, he's even done live streams.
Oh, look, the Dark Carnival. Games
yeah,
page.
amazing.
That's a cool look.
Wow.
I mean, he even does live streams on his YouTube once in a while where he'll like literally show himself drawing. It's cool.
Yeah, no, he does time lapses where he'll show the time lapse of him drawing something. I love those.
And he'll put like calming, cool, relaxing music to it.
Is
Oh,
this
check-
this is ICP, Big Hoodoo, Anybody
Oh,
Killer, a nesting doll.
Wow, very creative. You know, there's one piece that I want to look at again, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Beastmaster, scroll up until you see that the moth that was on Silence of the Lambs. It looks like he did a takeoff of it. Yeah, that kind of looks like it. Very creative, very cool.
I just know it has the Dark Carnival thing on the wings with the eyes.
No, but I like the way that because I've seen a lot of butterfly, like Wicked Dream creations, like a lot of butterfly art. Like I like the way this is so simple. It's just the eyeballs in between the fucking wing flaps.
No, 100%. And of course, Kara has she has a certain style when she does her butterflies. You know, you could see them a mile away. You know exactly, who did that. And this is, this is his own style. This is his own take, which is the reason I like it so much.
And it's a moth. It's clearly a moth too.
Right. Absolutely.
But Kara, I'm friends with her on Facebook. I mean, I don't know her beyond purchasing things from her at the booth every year. I go and I chit chat, but she just updated her profile picture, and I noticed that she has a couple of her own unique butterfly designs tattooed on her forearm. I just think that's dope.
That's awesome.
I feel like that is the mark of a true boss right there, where she designed her own fucking tattoos. Like, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. And all the times I've talked to her, she's just mad chill. I've even told her, I got to get you on the show sometime. And she's like, hell yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, you should. I mean, her and her husband, Harry, both very cool people. They've always been, super nice to me. And they're usually just a couple tents down, from wherever I set up. And it's always good to visit with them.
Man, this just keeps going on and on. And I mean,
dude, it's quite a collection.
Yeah, Ninja with a pencil. Good shit, man. Let's see. Yeah, I do really appreciate you taking the time to fucking chop it up with us, man. This is awesome, Tom. For real, joining.
It's good seeing you guys. Any chance I get a chance to visit with Juggalos, because in my little town, they don't exist. I think I might have one or two within a 100-mile radius of me, but you have to go all the way to Springfield to find another group of Juggalos, which is about 3 hours away from where I'm at. So,
well, don't worry. That's all going to change real soon when we all move into the clown compound, and I'll be your neighbor. So it'll be a lot different than live stream, and it'll be you trying to draw, and I'm going to be knocking on your door with a blunt and a bottle of wine, like, let's go.
That's awesome.
So maybe it's a good thing that Juggalos are at arm's reach distance, just so you can get stuff done.
Yeah. No, it's been a pretty productive year. You're right. Without all the events, I've been able to do several cool underground pieces this year. I was able to do Hoodoo's work, and I was able to. What's that?
You don't have to show us, but can you tell us like what new things are not out yet that maybe we can look forward to seeing? Is there anything you could tease us with or tell us to look forward to at all?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I will say that there's some cool stuff that's coming, and it's nothing that I would be actually able to talk about.
they revealed the new Yum Yum flower design, and I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't snooping because this shit was just in my feed, but I saw a conversation with you and some other juggalos where you said you had a hand in creating that Joker's card.
I will say that I was involved. There was some involvement with me in that, and that's really all that I'm at liberty to say right now. Is that
Sure, I don't
I was able to work with Joe and Joey, or with Violent J and Shaggy on some aspects of the development of Yum Yum, and that was awesome because I've visited with Shaggy on several occasions. Of course, he's a very talented artist too, so it was
I love Shaggy's
conversations, and of course his wife Renee she's a sweetheart, and
Mm-hmm.
she's one of my good buddies. So, but Jay is so busy. I've really never had a chance to work with him like I did with Rob and when we did Echo Side. So, having a chance to work with these guys in tandem a little bit and be involved in this was awesome. But that's really all I can really say on it at this point. But
nice.
It's very cool.
Hell yeah. I'll tell you this, Jump Steady revealed that he has like 3 new Dark Carnival games in the works. And every Dark Carnival game that's ever come out in the past, whether it be Morton's List or Quest for Shangri-La, or we got the Into the Echo Side over here, they've always included dope artwork. So it gets me excited for what's to come when I hear there's 3 brand new Dark Carnival games coming out. And so my imagination is running wild with what kind of Tom Wood artwork we're going to see. That's all I'm saying is I draw connections. I'm like, ooh, what could be? What if? I think that way about the music too. We think these ways. We got the 4 horsemen coming out, and we know who 3 of them are. Who's the 4th horseman? And speculation, like you said, they like to pull the string and tease and and kind of just inch it forward and build suspense.
No, they're masters at that. They are. I've learned a lot from those guys in the few years that I've had a chance to get to know them. But yeah, they've got their whole skill set down as far as how they market and how they build that hype when it comes to each every event. So they're masters at it.
Sometimes you wouldn't even notice that they're doing that. When the Mighty Death Pop era, 2012, they had a video for I Hate Her to Death. Remember that video, Chaos? I Hate Her to Death. So the iTunes or whoever it is who's in charge of releasing the music videos, they fucked up. Somebody in the company fucked up and they released the music video like months earlier than they were supposed to.
Wow.
Like all of a sudden, with no announcement, all of a sudden the video was available, and Psychopathic actually put out a statement that said, look, we didn't mean for this to happen. We like to do things the way we do them, and this came out way earlier than we thought it was, we wanted it to. And just that, that statement of correction was telling. It was almost like a breaking fourth wall where we're not supposed to hear that. But I mean, when you've been down for over 20 years, you hear a lot of things behind the curtain. You do.
Right. And it makes you wonder if I remember when Fred they'd had a drop date for Fred, and that kept getting pushed back. And again, and you wonder, was it? I think they pushed it back like 4 or 5 fucking times, but
no,
it seemed like it just kept going. And you don't wonder what was they adding to it, or were they editing it, or were they just just building that hype? Was this all part of the master plan?
And I thought that was cool how they added your presentation of Fred into the Fury video. I'm like, oh, Tom Wood's probably gonna be happy seeing his artwork in that music video.
Yeah, I was happy with it. And the first time I seen it, of course, I didn't even know I didn't even know they were going to use it until I seen the first video, and I'm like, holy shit, there's my Fred Fury in there. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
A lot of juggalos have short memories, and you're gonna say like, oh well, the past like 3, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, they've done this. It's like, yeah, well, they've been around for like 30 years. So what you're used to in the past 5 years may change, and if you can't handle that change, then you're not up to this long haul, because there's always been change, and over 30 years there's always been change. I just think it's funny how people get so hung up on the now and the norm where things always fucking change.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think the ability to change is what's kept them relevant for 30 years. I mean, you could count on one hand the bands that are still, it has the draw and has the fan base that ICP has after 30 years. I mean, that's really unheard of, other than the Grateful Dead before Garcia passed away.
Yeah. Fred Fury was the longest wait we ever had for a Joker's card, but you got to remember with the Missing Link, they kind of had a fuck up with the pre-orders. Like, everyone who pre-ordered that first Missing Link Lost album, the album did not show up on time. People were waiting like a week, 2 weeks for their fucking CDs to show up. Like, there was an issue, So then with the prolonged and pushback, for the average ninja, it's like red flags are going off. Problems here, problems there. All I see are problems, and they're just focused on the problems. When you just gotta have some patience and some faith. Like, obviously, it's not easy to rule the world and be ICP.
I mean, what a really an unrealistic standard that we hold these guys to. I mean, as far as entertaining us every year, putting on the Gathering every year, and all these other events and
they do so much. They
guys do every year very selflessly, I might add. So, it's my hat's off to them and their families, because it's a lot of pressure.
And maybe that's just because I've been around long enough where I remember when they didn't used to do all these things. So it's like, I appreciate it, and I know that it could all go away whenever they decide to stop. So,
I really thought you would see Jay doing shows in front of juggalos at his own house.
Yeah. Yeah, that was shocking. But
part of me was expecting to see Tom Wood show up on Violent J's sofa during their talk show. Yeah, why not? I mean, I didn't know they surprised us with each guest, and so it does make sense that it was more of people from their past and their musical journey. But if they do future episodes of their talk show, I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up being a guest. And if you can't confirm or deny that because you're not allowed,
yeah, we'll make it happen for you.
Honestly, ICP has never, and Psychopathic has never told me I can and can't do anything. They pretty much lay out what the plan is sometimes, and then
so you don't actually have a non-disclosure assignment with your artwork. I mean, you're just being respectful. I get it. I'm down for this this next era with the first female Joker's card. Is such a fucking long time coming, and it feels right. I love that.
No, I think I'm very excited for it, and I think from a lot of the posts I've seen after they unveiled Yum Yum at the Halloween Wicked show, and just everyone seemed to be, I'd say 95% was ecstatic about the fact that it was a female, maybe more than that. And I know some people had, there's always a few dissenting voices, but I think a lot, from the initial response, everyone really is excited about this Joker and the fact that it's a woman, and even the way she looks, and the message behind her. which is
Yeah,
still.
and I've seen a lot of good artwork lately show up from Yum Yum, and everyone's been telling us, I cannot wait to see what Tom Wood does with this. I'm like, right?
Yeah, it does. It definitely inspires. I know that Mike from Dead Canvas, he put out the next day. He did a little more of a realistic version of Yum Yum. It was her character was very inspiring.
I've seen a few. In fact, I'd love to show you one that you may not have seen before. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. Painted that shit. But also Mikey Bone Road, he was the first one to do his version of the Yum Yum flour.
I've seen those. Yeah, those were awesome. And that was based off her name. I mean, he really had nothing to even look at first.
That's right. That's right. He made a version of it with no imagery to go off of. Just right. He's good like that.
That's how.
What the hell? Who posted that shit? Let's see here. I think I saved it. Here we go.
Hey, guess what? I'm Shoes, and
no, never mind. It's like I didn't repost it on Instagram. I just shared the story, so I don't know how to pull it up again.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You know what, though? When I find it, I'm going to share it, and I'll tag you or something so you can see it later. Absolutely. Yeah. But someone's already gotten Yum Yum flour tattooed on them.
Yeah. It's a tattoo.
Yeah, they nailed it.
I love it. That right there is my kind of juggalo, Doesn't give a fuck what it sounds like. I'm getting that Joker's card tattooed on my fucking body. That was
prime real estate, too. Wasn't that like right on his – was that a leg?
Hey.
Or was that a forearm? I couldn't even tell. But
I couldn't tell either. That flesh, it just looked like fleshy and and they got a spot ready for the 2nd, 6th.
Yeah, and to hype people up, we've been explaining to people, I was like, everyone, look what the word bedlam means. It means a state of confusion and uproar, so it has a cool ring to it.
Right. Now, yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a fun era for Yum Yum.
Oh, yeah.
And even, when I first heard the name, I was like, that's, I don't know if it's hard enough for juggalos. But now that, it's been in our psyche for the past 2 months or 3 months, it's cool. It's turned itself into a cool word.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, look, people can complain all day about the words, about the vibe or the tone, whatever. You got bang, pow, boom. You got mighty death pop, words like bang, pow, boom, pop. I mean, whatever the fuck. I'm just saying what really matters about these Joker's cards are the message. And right. Mary Jane asked, what's the message behind her? It's about loyalty. And so I'm so interested in the stories about loyalty that we're going to get on this record.
Exactly. Like we've been speculating, do the 3 seeds represent aspects of a type of loyalty?
Are they going to be like cautionary tales? Like, because these 3 children of Yum Yum,
the spawn of Yum Yum, you get it?
Yeah. Could it be a kind of a mother-child type family loyalty, or is one of them gonna? It's just there's so much potential.
Yeah, lots of avenues this can go down. Lots of avenues.
Yep.
But that's the fun part. I mean, I think the speculation and seeing what everybody thinks that this part of her means, or the crack in her face, or whatever. It's fun to watch imaginations run wild, and I think that's part of the magic about any of these Jokers than the hype around them, just to let imaginations run wild and let people make of it what they see in her. So it's almost a study in America or in human psychology and artistry.
And I have plans to do a live stream like that where I dissect like words and why ICP chose these certain words, like carnage. What's the standout word on Carnival? Carnage. And then I will like read what that word means. So I'll be like, so ICP has picked their words very carefully in the name of Joker cards too.
Absolutely.
Great Malenko, what's the standout word? Great. Riddle box, what's the standout word? Riddle.
Yeah, you got a nice theory there, Chaos. I like it. I like the way you're drawing connections, you know.
Well, a lot of people with my second deck being connected more than people think it is. People have gone back and they're like, holy shit, he's right. The second deck is connected through the last song. I'm like, I know.
Yep. Several steps ahead of the rest of us on that.
Hell yeah. That's good shit, man. Yeah, yo, it is 10 minutes of 11 p.m. on the East Coast. So I'm just saying that I'm probably feeling ready to wrap this up soon. Not trying to, you know, shut it down immediately, but just saying maybe we could go for 10 more minutes and go to the top of the hour, or at least, you know, at least that longer, you know.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good to me. It's and if there's any questions that anybody's, you know, I can't on my screen on this page, I can't see the comment.
Yeah, we'll read the questions for you.
If there's any questions that you need me to answer, I'm happy to do that.
If anybody wants to know anything right now, everyone, leave your comments. We'll read them right now to Tom Wood, if you have any, in the next couple
And you're always welcome on here anytime, Tom. Like I said, you want to promote something and you want to jump on, just say, hey, Don, send me the link and I'll give it to you.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate that, brother.
Hell yeah.
You know, that invitation will come in handy if you ever get caught in like a political scandal. If Borat ever tricks you to an interview and in context, you're like zipping your fly like Rudy Giuliani, and everyone wants to know you're a pervert. You can come on here and clear
my name.
Which, if anyone has not seen that second Borat movie, oh my god, my gut hurt from laughing so hard from it.
Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard to watch. I mean it's
so
hilarious.
funny.
Oh my god, like the fertility dance that
he's like, this is my daughter, and I put the
the baby. I
put the baby in there,
and it's like an inside joke that people are like, wait, what? I'm like, oh god.
Oh, rough.
Even the actress that played his daughter, she is so freaking funny.
Yeah, very talented.
Yeah, I really hope that that her career blossoms, because she was definitely the highlight of that movie. Borat, she made it better, you know.
I mean, and I thought Melissa McCarthy was funny, and Melissa McCarthy is funny, but this woman in this movie, she was hilarious.
Yeah.
Wait, Melissa McCarthy? Why?
I think Melissa McCarthy's funny.
Yeah, but why did you just, like, out of all female comedians, did you bring her up right now?
I don't know. She's been in quite a few funny movies that crack me up.
Really? Like Ghostbusters?
Not Ghostbusters, like the Happy Time Murders. That movie was funny.
Okay. Do you ever see the other movie? Oh, what's it called? It's just like that. It's all puppets. Oh fuck, I don't remember the name.
That movie where she goes back to college is quite funny.
Did you know that she's the other McCarthy's cousin, Jenny McCarthy from that on MTV?
No way. Really?
Yeah, they're cousins. They're cousins. McCarthy's.
No, I didn't know that. McCarthy's a pretty common name. So yeah, I would.
Wasn't there a guy in politics in the 80s, McCarthy? Something about like Russia or communism.
You're talking about McCarthyism. That was was in the late 60s. That was in like 1968.
Oh, you know why I said 80s? Because that's when REM made a song called "Exhuming McCarthy" in in 88. Okay. That's why
I'm with that side then. But yeah, you're a little over a decade off on that one.
We have a few questions.
What's that?
Oh, I said we have a few questions in the chat. Mary Jane wants to know if you've heard the entire Yum Yum Bedlam album.
Have I heard it? Yes.
Holy shit! I was not expecting that answer.
There you guys have it. You've heard it, and you're not going to hear anything more.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Damn right.
But that right there is like proof that it exists. Like we don't know. We don't know if they're like, yo, this album's coming out on Christmas. We're just working on track 4 right now. Like we don't know.
Well, you guys heard it there. They've been working on it the entire time.
That's right.
I've heard some roughs.
Oh,
I don't know if they were responsible.
awesome.
Now he's just giving us blue balls.
Yeah, now I'm crawfishing.
You know,
Because I didn't expect your reaction to be so extreme there.
hold on there. John Doe wants to know, what is the song titles that you heard? I'm just kidding.
Sean's like, nope, I'm stopping my boundaries there. Nope.
Interview over. You're like Donald Trump. We've got enough. 45 minutes is enough. Fuck 60.
Or he'll just be like, fake news.
All right. Any more questions? You got anything else?
Let's see.
Were there more questions, Chaos?
Not that I can see at the moment.
Well, that was the only one. That's the only thing we care about? Okay. Well, all right. I got a question for you.
Okay.
You got advice for, young artists in their 20s coming up, starting off, and what do you have for advice for young artists in their 40s that already have a full-time job and maybe have put their dream down for a while and have always dreamt about like putting out a comic strip or that type of thing? Like what's your advice for me? I mean, someone like me. I mean, someone completely anonymous and hypothetical who really kind of like has that want, like it's
Right.
in your mind all the time, and for whatever reason,
Life kind of got in the way.
yeah, and it's like it's always there. Where anytime I pick up the stylus and draw on Procreate, I create something dope, and I'm like, wow, why don't I do this more? But it's almost like there's no structure, there's no goal. Like, what's your advice for someone who has talent but no fucking like actual goal?
That's interesting. Well, as far as from my advice earlier, when I sort of advised you to get it started as early as possible in this field, and the easier it is. But if you're in your 40s, this wasn't possible 20 years ago. But with social media and the internet the way it is, I don't think there's ever been a better time to where if you wanted to launch into something like this, you could grow a following. If you're passionate about it and you know how to market with social media and the internet, I think it opens up so many doors that weren't there 20 years ago. Because where would you go with it before? Now you have, especially someone like yourself that has an audience with Carnival Spirits. You can get your stuff in front of a lot of eyes very quickly.
You're right. You're right. That's so true. I remember I was an intern, a graphic design intern in college back in 2001. So in Boston, I was right across the street from the Copley Hotel where the terrorists were staying before they hopped on the plane to hit the tower in New York. And so at my internship, all the bomb squad and the police were showing up right outside our building because on 9/11, when we watched the towers fall. And I just remember like at that time when I'm in school trying to launch my career, everything went flat. I just could not find a job to save my life in my field of study. Just at that specific moment, I'm just saying I was like a junior at that time, you know. So yeah, and so I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that was my experience where ideally I would have went to college and then gotten a job right afterwards. But for some reason, all these professionals were taking entry-level jobs and you know, like they were way more experienced, and they were so I couldn't find an entry-level position to save my life. It was a weird time back then. But yeah, so and so fast forward today, I still feel the passion for visual communication, man. I do. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm on Carnival Spirits, because I mean, I'm here talking to you, but I'd say like most of the shit I do on this channel is behind the scenes. I do graphics, I do editing, I help out Callie Green and Scotty and Panic and Chaos, everybody. I'm the guy behind the scenes that make sure that shit looks as best it can, you know?
Well, I mean, I think that sort of lends itself to the whole creative process. And I mean, you had that creative, you know, creative force that's been beckoning you and pushing you all these years. Even if you didn't have an outlet for it professionally at the time, I mean, it's like a splinter in your mind that just keeps, wants you to create, just keep doing something that's creative. It's, that not only satisfies that, but you want to put something out there that is going to bring joy to people. And I think, Carnival Spirit certainly does that. And I think there'd be a lot of people besides myself that would say, I'd love to see you put out some artwork and let us take a look at it.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, that makes me feel good. And, maybe that's what I'm looking for, is just someone to, confirm that that's something worth, doing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
When there's no more Tom Wood and, the Dark Carnival, that name is gone, past, and there's another artist that comes and takes my place. There's nothing that's really left besides these works. And, Carnival Spirits will probably be around after you guys have moved on. Someone's going to come and take that mantle. And I think the same way with the artwork that I do, I think there's always going to be somebody that's going to step up and take that. And, our names will fade as the years go by, but, that artwork is going to stay, and the work that you guys have done and the lives that it's impacted, that's always going to move on. It's going to move forward with, the lives that you've been able to touch. So I think that that's always a worthwhile endeavor, is to, create and leave some kind of legacy behind.
Hell yeah. I feel that a lot too. But I really cherish this ability that we have to talk, streaming across the country, live streaming. We're all together right now and talking about this shit. So I'm just feeling a little sentimental. We're coming into Thanksgiving time, and this is the time when I really am trying to focus on how can we just like shine as hard as possible going into the end of the year, into the holidays. And one of those things we can do is talk to Tom Wood. And it's been fucking awesome. Hell yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure, being here, guys. Again, thank you for the invite, Don. It's, I was 4 or 5 days ago, you hit me up, and, it was a chance to get on here and visit with you guys and chop it up. I was, more than happy to come on and see you guys. So, and
hell yeah.
Beastmaster, this is an unexpected surprise. I didn't expect you to be on here, but it's always good talking to you, just like we get a chance to visit it at the gathering and stuff. So, always good to see you.
Same. All right, Chaos, what do you think? You got any closing statements for your show?
Well, all I got to say is you guys won on this show, and you want Don Chaos to really help promote you guys. Don Chaos and Carnival Spirits, we has your back. We love you guys. shout outs to Miss Hollywood, and shout outs to everyone. And thank you, Tom. Thank you,
Oh,
sir.
you're welcome.
Good.
Thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure. You guys take care. God bless.
Hell
See
yeah.
ya. Chaos, you want me to end this right now?
Yes, but when you end, I still need to talk to you.
All right, so don't leave yet. I'm going to end the live stream, and we'll have a quick post-show discussion. And hey, I want to say shout out to CPN. I see you in the chat. CPN has this weird thing where his main channel is blocked on Carnival Spirits, so he has to use his burner channel, his like Mr. CPN channel, to watch our show. And I don't know why that is. I think it's because we had a people on our channel like years ago who hated CPN, but I looked and his channel's not blocked on Carnival Spirits. I don't know why the fuck you can't watch from your main channel, bro. I mean, it's just one of those weird anomalies. I don't know how to explain it. It's you're not blocked. I mean, if you are, maybe you blocked us. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Matrix.
Anyways,
Tell CPN I said hi, and Miss Hollywood, I'm a big fan of hers. Always loved being able to visit with her. She's just a sweetheart. And
yes, Miss Hollywood is officially Carnival Spirits as well. By the way, she's a part of this channel.
That's great.
I love that woman. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, we're gonna wrap this up. Tom Wood, Don Chaos, Beastmaster, Carnival Spirits. You guys are fucking awesome. Fuck out, and always remember.